So this is going to be the full or the first full test of this new setup. So they should be able to hear my mic and my other audio perfectly. I hope it's not giving dual sound. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. So we should be good. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, theys, thems, and MAGA. Welcome into the stream. Welcome into the stream. This is Defend the Indefensible, episode 65. 65, and we're going to see what interesting guests we get tonight. One more day home before a week on the road. Yikes. Yeah. I really like not having to be a road warrior anymore. I really do. But welcome in everyone. We're going to see what chats that we get going. First and foremost, going to need you guys to double tap that screen. Double tap the screen till the like bar gets full. We got 54 people in here. Get us boosted out on the FYP. Send out your daily heart me's if you haven't already. Those of you who are fan club members, knock out the 1 cent gift goals to get us boosted out in the FYP. Share out the live with your friends and family, of course. Also repost and add to your story. Send it to your group chats, your uncles, your cousins, all the MAGA people that like to talk to you about things versus actually go back and forth with someone who may be, a little more knowledgeable, we'll say. Do all the good things. Looks like we have our first guest, so we'll go ahead and get this show on the road. Y'all know what to do. And of course, links in the bio for the rest, including the other social media platforms that we have. This guy's taking a bit to load up. Let me get my backup in the request here. Move that around. Perfect. Willie Smith? Is Willie Smith loading for anyone else? This person's not loading, so I'm not sure what's happening there. Any case, Trump supporters request up in the box. You, the demographic of people I'd like to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, you can call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. Mason, did you vote for Trump?
I did.
And do you regret your vote?
Nope.
And why is that?
Because I think he's doing a fantastic job.
Define fantastic.
Excellent, superlative. Those are synonyms.
Okay, so when I said define fantastic, it was more so, maybe that's my fault. I gave you the wrong wording. Give me an examples of things that he's doing that you would consider fantastic.
Yeah, so I support the actions in Iran. I support pretty much everything he does, actually.
What exactly do you support in Iran?
The prevention of Iran from obtaining nuclear weapons.
I don't see how we prevented anything. We just done a bunch of blowing up.
Really? You don't think dropping the bunker busters on Isfahan, Natanz, prevented them from developing nuclear weapons?
According to Pete Hegseth,
These are nuclear
no.
states. Really?
Yes.
So if I have a factory where I'm making explosives and somebody blows up that factory, that doesn't inhibit my operation?
According to Pete Hegseth, and this was quite literally in his hearing yesterday, we completely obliterated said system just to fall back on the same need to obliterate their system again in February 28th of 2026, even though we struck their 3 bases over the summer and it was supposed to be completely buried. So according to Pete Hegseth, that mission was not successful. According to Pete Hegseth, there's still a nuclear threat, hence why we have to go back into the region.
Do you think that the operation...
This is the first time we're going in there.
Do you think the operation last summer was meant to totally decimate their ability to develop nuclear weapons?
Yes, that's what the administration said. And they said they did so successfully.
You provide evidence that it was to completely destroy their ability to...
They completely obliterated it.
Yeah, Donald Trump uses a lot of hyperbole. This is known.
I'm aware of that. But Donald Trump is the president of the United States who co-signed these strikes, and he's the one who came out and made this statement. He was literally...
Are presidents prohibited from using hyperbole?
I'm sorry, what?
Are presidents of the United States prohibited from using hyperbole?
No one made a prohibited argument.
Okay, then what's wrong with him saying that if it's hyperbolic?
Well, it would be a lie.
It's hyperbole.
Okay.
Do you know what hyperbole is?
Yes, I know what hyperbole is, but it would be a lie.
So you know that it's not a lie. So you know that it's...
I'm sorry. Can you define hyperbole?
Yeah, it's exaggerating your statements in order to convince people.
Okay, got you. Can an exaggerated statement be a form of a lie?
That doesn't mean that it is.
Can an exaggerated statement be a lie?
Yes, but that doesn't mean that it is.
Okay, so if the President of the United States said that we completely obliterated their nuclear capacity, and then fast forward to a couple months afterwards, we're back in the region doing strikes, getting the Strait of Hormuz closed to the U.S., Iran, U.S., Israel, and our allies versus the rest of the world. Now it's completely closed over the same obliteration or need to obliterate. Then one can ascertain that that was a bold-faced lie.
No, it was bold-faced hyperbole.
Bold-faced hyperbole. Cool. So I vote for a
I
president
don't
who's
think
going
we're
to
going to
tell
be
the
able to
truth
find common
and
ground
deliver
on this.
accurate information to the American people on the strikes that are meant to protect us from nuclear extinction. But instead, it seems like we're closer to it.
I think that if you take what he said at face value and you actually believe that the striking of three sites completely destroys their ability, I think the onus
Those
is on
those
you.
three sites were supposed to be the predominant basis for their nuclear enrichment. What was
Predominant.
it?
It doesn't
Natanz,
mean in
Fayar,
totality.
and I forgot what the last one is.
Isfahan.
What do you mean it doesn't mean in totality? I mean, it doesn't matter what it means in totality. That was the basis that we struck. That was the basis that the administration told us they completely obliterated their nuclear
Wait,
capacity. I'm sure.
so
I'm sure you know what obliterated means.
wait, so if you knew previously that these were the predominant sites for nuclear development, and then we only struck those sites, would you believe that we completely obliterated their nuclear capacity?
It's not talking about what I would believe. I never believed the Trump administration and their lies because there's no basis that we completely obliterated their systems. I'm just telling you what they told us and that they
But do you
started
think
walking
that
it
when he
back
says that,
come February.
do you think that when he says that, based on your prior knowledge that these are only predominant sites for nuclear development,
My God, you're
do you
asking
do
me
you
if I
honestly take what
believe the President of the United States. The answer is no. I'm telling you what he told the American people. I'm telling you what he told his base, you guys who ate it up over the summer and now justifying the strikes now, which don't seem to be doing much good. If you're going to make the argument that you're complimenting what he's doing in Iran because we're obliterating this and we're taking care of that, then I would follow up with the fact that he said we took care of it over the summer and we didn't. So I don't know why you would believe now that we're taking care of the problem that he had to lie about to begin with.
yes, because well again, what you're saying is you like Democrats knew. I don't know why you've got a smirk on your face. The Democrats knew that these were the predominant sites for Iran's nuclear enrichment. That
I
means
didn't say the
that these are
Democrat
not
said
the
that.
only. Can you
I, a
stop?
Democrat, spoke
Stop.
on it.
Stop.
I can speak, buddy.
That means that there are other sites where they are enriching nuclear materials. Can we agree on that?
Potentially, sure.
No, 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 because predominant doesn't mean all.
I said predominant, and then you started speaking on behalf of Democrats. These were the sites that had the 60% enrichment. That was the threat because we were only they were only allegedly a couple days, couple weeks away from having the ability to make full-on bombs. Fast forward to the meeting that Steve Witkoff had in the negotiation deals that went completely a flop. They then said they had 60% enrichment that was been able to make, I believe, 11 to 12 nuclear warheads if they so chose. So again, we didn't do quite a good job.
Yeah, I can agree that we probably could have done more.
Cool. So you like the
Do you?
actions in Iran, which is summarized as just wasting roughly $2 billion a day to blow up people, and we're not even knocking out the objective that we went there for, which is stopping their nuclear capacity.
Did you stop? Did you support the war in Ukraine?
Do I support the war in Ukraine? I
Did you?
support Ukraine's sovereignty, and I'm against Russia's aggression.
Wait, so we sent billions of dollars to Ukraine. We didn't achieve our objective, but you support that.
I'm
But
sorry.
for the same
What is the
reasons you don't
objective in
support
the region of Ukraine?
to protect Ukraine's sovereignty.
To protect Ukraine's sovereignty.
Hmm?
Oh, is that why you think we did it?
Isn't that what you just said?
I just said I believe in Ukraine's sovereignty. And now you just use that to say that's why we went
Yeah,
there.
because the Ukraine wanted to join NATO. Russia didn't want them to join NATO because they didn't want to be neighbored to a NATO country. So
And
they started taking over Ukraine. Did they not?
yeah, they attempted to. That is correct. Russia
Right.
invaded them in
So we went
2022.
over there
We didn't
to
go over there.
defend.
No one, no, U.S. troops did not go
Sorry,
over there.
sorry, you're correct. We sent support in order to aid Ukraine in upholding their sovereignty and
And
their
temper
ability to
Russian
join to
aggression,
decide
yes,
to join
because
NATO.
Russia is not the good guy here. And Ukraine is a distant ally, not officially through NATO or otherwise, but we had the Budapest Memorandum.
Right. So we sent support to Ukraine to uphold their sovereignty.
Again, you keep like trying to say that. I was speaking on what I want, which is Ukraine's sovereignty to be upheld. If you want to say that's the reason that we sent them over there, sure. Regardless, it was to temper Russian aggression. It was because they were the victim in that scenario. They were invaded. We sent them aid to protect themselves. And they were doing
Wait,
a decent job.
why was Russia aggressing?
The why is irrelevant. According to
No,
Putin,
it's not.
he said it was because they wanted to join NATO, and then he wants the region. What is your point?
So Ukraine wanted to make a sovereign decision to join NATO. Russia infringed on their sovereignty, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Ukraine started fighting back, right?
Well, that's what you do. You protect your country from foreign aggression.
You protect your sovereignty.
Uh huh.
We sent aid to help them protect their sovereignty,
Uh huh.
which is what I've been saying this entire time.
And
You've been dancing around it, not saying yes or
I
no.
really haven't. Again, I was speaking from my perspective, and then you did this thing earlier where you tried to say the Democrats this and America that. Protecting their sovereignty would be fighting back against aggression. You can word it any way you want. What is your point?
But you have an issue with the United States protecting its sovereignty
We're
in
not.
Iran.
We're
Yes, we
literally not.
are. Iran has been chanting unalivement to America for the last almost 50 years.
Yes, Iran's chant about death to America is more so against its imperialism versus citizens. There's a really a difference.
Do you think
Not to
for a
mention,
second,
we had a clear objective in sending aid to Ukraine, an objective that was met with every dollar that we sent. Versus the Trump administration, they don't even know what they're doing in Iran at this point, or at least what they're telling us they're doing there is a bold-faced lie.
okay, so do you think for a second that Iran would not send nuclear weapons our way
America,
if they had?
say what now? What?
Do you not think that Iran would send nukes our way immediately if they had them towards us and Israel?
I would say no.
You don't think they would?
Based off the fact that they had 60% uranium since 2021 under the Biden Harris administration, and that was the same amount that we used to strike them over the summer, they would have had 4 years to do whatever they wanted to us, 4 years to take weeks to get their nuclear warheads and strike us if they wanted to, yet they didn't. Biden didn't make any peace deal, it just stayed the same. So,
Do you know how much uranium needs to be enriched to develop a nuclear weapon?
90%.
Yeah, so they couldn't have built a nuclear weapon.
I'm sorry, what?
So,
Do you know?
are you confused?
I think you are. Do you know how much it takes to go from 60% to 90%?
Not as much as it takes to go from the limit that they were held to, which I believe was 3%, to 60%.
It is literally easier to get from 60% to 90%.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. And the 3.6% limit that you reference, I'm so glad you did that. Can you tell me what administration that limit was under?
I think it was Obama.
And what was that deal?
The I can't remember the exact deal, but I know that
JCPOA,
it
the
was
Joint
Obama.
Comprehensive
Yeah,
Plan of
JCPOA.
Action.
Yep.
And why
You're
was
gonna say Trump pulled out, right?
did he not?
He did. Do you know why?
Why?
I'm asking you.
I
Do
know
you know
why.
why?
Yes, I know
Tell
why.
me.
Donald Trump said it was a bad deal.
Hmm? Why? Why
Can,
did he say that?
why did he say it was a bad deal? Because we
Hmm.
sent billions of dollars over on crates and shipped straight to them, and they used that to fund terrorism. That's what he said.
Did we not do that?
Not the number that he touted around. No,
What number did he say?
he said 50 billion. It was
What was the
1.7.
actual number?
Majority of it being interest in the initial part. Then there was a separate section, but the big part was the money we sent them was a couple million, which inflated his different number from the arms deal, the failed arm deals in '79.
I'm not that well versed on this topic, but
Clearly,
I'll take what you're saying. I'll take your word for it. I think it also had something to do with sanctions. Um,
well,
he didn't
we
like the
lifted
sanctions.
sanctions. We didn't send them direct money off of
Right,
that.
right,
They
right.
received money through the lifted sanctions.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yeah,
man, you're really I still disagree, but I respect you for you know, having this discussion with me.
I'm curious as why you would disagree with the fact that because of Donald Trump, we're closer to nuclear extinction than we ever have been under Democratic administrations. Not only because we don't have a deal securing that they have no more than 3.6% enriched uranium, but because we're continuing to piss them off versus actually utilizing diplomacy. This doesn't make us
Wait,
safer.
so they would send nukes our way,
I
which
think
is
the
a direct
chances are
contradiction of
higher
what you said
now.
earlier.
Sure. But I would say, based off of history, which is where I established my position that they don't want to, is that they had no interest in utilizing one against us unless it was maybe a what you might call it, uh, I guess a last minute threat in terms of if we were to utilize nukes on them. That's the whole point of many countries having nukes, is so that if they were nuked, they can respond in kind. It's something that keeps people from fighting each other, right? From nuclear extinction. I think the entire world needs to denuclearize, and I think it needs to, well, maybe not start with the United States, but it should, in the sense of the fact that we're the only ones to ever use a nuke on anyone else.
Uh,
It would be no
would
different from
you
their ballistic missiles. For the most part, they've only used it in response to attacks, specifically from Israel.
would you say that the IRGC, I mean, you can agree they unalived tens of thousands of their own people during
The
protests, right?
IRGC are a bunch of bad guys.
Right. Yeah. And they control the people of Iran, correct?
I guess so, to some degree.
So they're largely to blame for any response that we put their way.
No.
But you just said they're the bad guys.
Yes, they are the bad guys to their people. When I'm speaking about Iran, I'm speaking about
No.
protection of the US and other countries in response to their nuclear threat that they would pose.
You understand that Iran is the largest global state sponsor for terrorism, right?
Sure.
We shouldn't do anything about that.
We have been.
What should we do? What do you think we should do
At this
about
point,
Iran?
I think we should pull out of the region, get back to making a deal that would stop them from their nuclear enrichment, go back to lifting the sanctions. Obviously, we would probably have to pay them more money at this point because of Donald Trump to even make it feasible. But I think the most that they asked for is what was a part of that latest deal? They would have to pull U.S. troops out of the region and including some other bases. I can't remember what it was at this point in time, and then return back to diplomatic efforts. I think that's what we should do. As for the rest,
Um,
they have a new leader. According to Donald Trump, killing the last one and getting a new one would leave better terms for them to negotiate peace and them not killing their citizens. So that part is already done.
so
We have a new individual there, and we play the rest out. I think we should just get back to focusing on America and bringing back down our oil prices because they're skyrocketing.
so you understand that Iran violated the nuclear non-proliferation treaty, right?
What treaty is that?
Uh, it is pretty dated. It's 1968. Iran signs the NPT, pledging not to build nuclear weapons, right?
No, I don't believe that is accurate. Were they ever a
It
part of that?
literally is. It's from the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists.
Okay, I don't know that means. Let's see. That's stand blah blah. I'm pretty sure that they're not how that goes. But yeah, I will double check it. Sure, not a problem. Thank you guys for the gifts. I appreciate you. Continue to double tap the screen. Let's get the likes up to 25K and beyond. Share out the live with your friends and family. Repost and add it to your story. They were in violation of this before the JCPOA.
Right.
They were in
But
compliance.
they violated a treaty that they signed.
They were in compliance with it under the JCPOA.
Really?
Yes,
Oh yeah, under the JCPOA,
that
sure,
was one of the
maybe, but
points of the
I'm talking about
JCPOA.
the nuclear. I'm talking about the nuclear non-proliferation treaty.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. The JCPOA solved that.
Right, but they did violate it, right?
Sure.
The NPT. So they have a history of not sticking by treaties that they signed.
Before the JCPOA.
Did they stand by the
Literally, the last
JCPOA?
time before I'm seeing the violation, but the biggest one was in 2005. I'm not sure what Bush's actions were against them in that area, and then fast forward to the JCPOA, they were good.
Hmm.
I mean, you can talk about their lack of compliance. Again, the deal that we made, the recent one under a Democratic president in recent times, they were in compliance. They still complied months after the JCPOA was torn up by Donald Trump. And then Donald Trump put more sanctions on them, and we saw them ramp up their nuclear enrichment. I believe by the following year, 2019, it was going above or close up to 60%.
Was the JCPOA completely dissolved, or did the U.S. just pull out of it?
The U.S. pulls out of it. The U.S. backed it. Once the U.S.
But
came out, the
you still
entire
got
deal fell apart because it was the U.S. that was the enforcer of said deal. You took out the biggest player, the rest of it fell apart. Again, we are here because of Donald Trump. I really hope people get that. We are here because of Donald Trump saying it was a bad deal. And here's something you can think about. You can complain about the money that was sent over. You can complain about Iran's actions with it and all this different stuff. But we were good, and the money was already sent over. So pulling us out of the deal did nothing. It literally did nothing good for us.
so the other parties involved, the UK, France, Germany, Russia, and China, remained in the deal, and then Iran began reducing compliance while the deal was still alive.
The deal was not alive, not really, after the U.S. pulled out of it.
Do you have a source for that?
What? The
Do you
source
have a
was the
source?
U.S. is the one who drafted it up with the rest of these nations. Other ones we were allies with continuing to comply with it is their business. Iran had no reason to, no incentive, particularly after we put back the sanctions on them.
If the U.S. pulls out of NATO, does NATO collapse?
No, that would be a little bit bigger than that, and I would still
Right.
argue that
So
would be a huge factor. Not only can it not be done, but it wouldn't be done. Not the same thing.
the JCPOA was still active when
To the
Iran began
active countries
reducing
that stayed in
compliance.
it, sure, any one of them could have also not complied, and there would have been no reason to, based off of it falling apart after the U.S. pulled out.
So you're saying that Iran pulling out of the JCPOA was justified because the U.S. did it? Are they not an
Who was there
independent
to enforce the?
nation?
Who was there to enforce the IAEA compliance and everything else outside of the U.S.? Was it
The
Germany?
other
Was it?
countries
What was the
that
other
were
countries?
involved.
Can you tell me what power the other countries had to enforce the regulations?
Well, the IAEA kept verifying compliance,
Oh my God.
so somebody must have been doing it.
The IAEA exists without the JCPOA specifically, my guy.
Yeah, but they were verifying the compliance that was outlined in the JCPOA.
The JCPOA.
What else would they be verifying?
I don't know how you keep falling back. Dude, once the US came out, all your compliance, all your regulations, all that mean nothing. They don't mean squat past that point. So I don't know why you keep bringing this up.
Why were they still complying a year later?
Again, Iran specifically?
Yeah.
Because they chose to.
They chose to follow a treaty that was no longer active?
That is correct, until the U.S. pissed them off. Hey, Manny.
Hey, I have the reason why Iran continued to do it. It's very simple. Inside the JCPOA, if any of the nations suspect any of the other agreed nations for violating the JCPOA, they have a mechanism that any of those nations can use in order to remedy that violation. Iran is the only nation that pulled that remedy within the JCPOA. I believe it's Section 4. I believe it's either Section 4 or Section 5. So during that year that they were still keeping with the JCPOA, that's why. They filed complaints against the United States for putting sanctions of which were lifted for them to agree to the JCPOA. So once the United States decided not to play by the rules of the JCPOA, putting sanctions, and said, I'm not going to remedy the situation within the JCPOA, Iran had no reason to play by the rules that were always going to go against them.
So you're saying that if a country suspects another country that is part of the JCPOA of not complying with it, what suspicion did Iran have?
It was the sanctions. They specifically were going after the United States for the sanctions, not even for leaving. It wasn't even for the fact of leaving. It was specifically for the sanctions. They argued that they violated the JCPOA agreement due to putting sanctions back on.
Were the sanctions limited by the JCPOA?
The sanctions were removed as an agreement for the JCPOA. It's not that hard.
The provisions, yes.
This is literally it's actually in the JCPOA as well. The sanctions are mentioned in the JCPOA. That no nation will put sanctions on Iran. These are the stipulations of the deal, which, by the way, the JCPOA is a UN Security Council agreement. So
wait, so it says specifically that no nation that is part of the JCPOA could
if you want specifics, right? I can stop paraphrasing. I can.
Well, I just want to clarify if you're saying that only.
I was using a hyperbole, but I can get you the specifics if you wish.
Only countries that are participating in the JCPOA cannot put sanctions on Iran, right? That's what
I was giving you a hyperbole, but I can get you the specifics if you wish.
That's not what hyperbole is.
Oh, you don't know what hyperbole means either. It's actually a lie.
No. There was no exaggeration given.
Yeah, W's in the chat to Tyler for the $1. Bro, what's my hat? Joking. Oh, okay. First off, Tyler, you never sent me your information. I literally told you to. Told you to send me your information. I can get you one off the shop. W's in the chat to you, Tyler. Thank you so much for your donation. Guys, the best way to support the platform is going to be the links in your bio. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Hector Talks with 2 R's or Cash App and Venmo. PayPal, Hector Pal with 2 O's and 2 R's. If you're over on the Tube side, you may send a super chat or a super sticker. If you're not following me, hit that follow button in the top left corner. We are live every Saturday after 3 p.m. CST and randomly throughout the week. Let's continue to help this guy out here because he seems to be clearly struggling. I don't know why we're trying to sit here and pull apart all the intricate details. You're clearly struggling with comprehension in this conversation and what it falls back to. You're sitting here trying to nitpick the JCPOA, which again did its job before Donald Trump pulled us out of it. You can complain about everything that happened before. You can complain about everything that happened afterwards. But we were safer under said deal, and Donald Trump has not contributed in any way, shape, or form to that, returning us back to that standard.
Have I given you any reason to be disrespectful to me?
I don't see what I said. I was disrespectful.
You're just
my name's Steve. I'm 59.
I don't care who you are, Steve. We're not ready to talk to you yet. I don't know what you find disrespectful about the fact that you were clearly struggling with understanding what I was saying, and I simply mentioned the fact that you're struggling. Are you one of those people that complain about the truth just because it hurts your feelings?
anytime I admit that I don't know something, you just smile and give a smirk like it's funny.
Stop
Well, you did
virtue
come up here and you
signaling,
quite literally tried
Hector.
to debate with me something that you didn't
You're
understand.
virtue
So yes, I got a
signaling.
good smile in there. Steve, you can stay on mute or you can get dropped. The choice is yours. The next time you unmute, we're not talking to you yet. Great.
I'm just
cool.
See you later.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Dude, Hector, all I'm trying to do is have a respectful discussion, and
I didn't
you're
say anything
using
disrespectful. If you think
you're
me
being
saying
a
that you
little
were struggling
hostile.
with a point is hostile or disrespectful, then that is unfortunate for you. Would you like me to
or
soften my
attitude
tone?
or whatever you want to call it.
I'm gonna just say this is some real bitch shit. So in the preamble and general
that's
provisions of the
directly an ad
JCPOA, this is the preamble and general provisions in the JCPOA. We can look at page 3, section V. That's 5. The JCPOA will produce the comprehensive lifting of all UN Security Council sanctions, as well as multilateral and national sanctions related to Iran's nuclear program, including steps to access in areas of trade, technology, finance, and energy. So, did you know the word sanctions is actually mentioned 136 times? That's crazy, right? So it says in VIII that the E3, we're a part of, and the EU plus 3, if you know, you know, will refrain from imposing discriminatory, retaliatory, and procedural requirements in lieu of the sanctions and restrictive measures covered by this JCPOA. This JCPOA builds on the implementation of the the Joint Plan of Action (JPOA) agreed in Geneva of 24 November 2013. Do you want me to keep reading every single time sanctions is mentioned, or are you now going to agree that sanctions were lifted and sanctions were agreed upon to be lifted because of the JCPOA?
Just want to know why the United States should be expected to abide by the terms of the JCPOA if it pulled out of the JCPOA.
Who said?
Well, no one said that. But then why should the question really is, why should Iran?
They could have pulled out if they wanted to.
And they did. They stopped abiding by it. Why? What is?
Yeah,
there's a fundamental disconnect that's going on here. There's a fundamental disconnect that's going on here. No one is arguing.
The agreement gets violated, and we then do something about
an agreement can't be violated if the agreement was already violated by the United States. There's a fundamental disconnect. The United States violated the agreement first.
How can you violate an agreement you're no longer a part of?
The violation was putting sanctions. That's what the violation was.
Did they do that after or before they withdrew?
They did it during the pullout, because they didn't pull out all of a sudden. They didn't pull out that day, right? The pullout was a mechanism that took about anywhere between 30 to 60 days. During that time period of 30 to 60 days from pulling out from the agreement, that's when the then Secretary of Econ started placing sanctions on Iran. You can actually go and look that up as well, or do you want me to go find you that as well?
Did you find it?
I see. Why do I have to do white men's homework so much?
Because it's your claim, dumbass.
It still doesn't answer the question. Why do I have to do white men's homework?
Chat, there's a reason.
Because it's not my homework. It's your claim. Again, dumbass.
You literally came up here to debate this point, and we have quite literally been providing you all of this information. I just want to point that out. Also, this is the reason why I don't call these live debates, because for the most part, they just become classrooms where we teach people things.
So you do call it a debate, and you don't call it a debate at the same time?
Do you know?
You just said that.
W's in the chat to Olive for the $2 Venmo. Is Mason filming? He has shitty rage bait videos on his page showing how civil he can be. I don't know what he has going on here, to be honest with you. He's also an Andrew Wilson fan. This is why white men need to be lonelier. Yeah, that's not surprising in the slightest. What do you like about
What gives you the idea that I'm an Andrew Wilson fan?
I was just reading a dono, bro.
Yeah, they have no evidence for
So
that.
what I'm gonna do is cite the Trump White House archives because it's archived because it was back during his first administration. So following the U.S. withdrawal from the Iran nuclear deal in May 8th, 2018, the Trump administration reimposed sanctions in two phases rather than immediately, with the first wave hitting within 90 days, August 7th, 2018, and the second, more severe wave hitting within 180 days, November 5th, 2018. These actions target Iran's automotive, finances, energy, and shipping sectors. So they did it in two waves. I guess I lied. I said 30 or 60. It looks like it's 9180. Yeah.
I would argue that constitutes a pullout, whether
You would argue that I never. Jesus Christ. What was my original claim?
Thank you,
Tommy. What I'm saying is, even if they're only done with phase one, that constitutes a pullout, whether they.
Okay, awesome. What was the original claim? Why did I bring this up?
You said they were imposing sanctions during the pullout.
Yes, during the pullout. You said verbatim that the first phase would constitute, you would argue that the first phase would constitute, your words, a pullout. So
yeah,
that means that they impose sanctions during the pullout. So they said, so then per your own.
Let me add a clarification.
No. I don't need a clarification. Per your own argument.
If the country is committed to pulling out of the agreement, then yes,
awesome.
It would constitute a pullout.
Awesome. So per your own argument, the United States put sanctions on during the pullout, which means the United States put sanctions on at the same time that they were pulling out, violating the JCPOA. They were not fully withdrawn from the JCPOA.
Did I say they were
putting sanctions on Iran, even with pulling out from the mechanism of the JCPOA, is still a violation of it.
Yeah, then why did they wait a year?
Again, we're going to go back to what I first said when I first came up. They waited a year because they wanted to remedy the sanctions. They waited a year because they were using the mechanism within the JCPOA to rectify that violation. I don't understand why you are not tracking that conversation.
And then they were just like, you know what? Never mind. We're just going to build nuclear bombs and launch them at Israel.
You know what happened in 2019?
That's such a loaded question.
Okay, cool. So what happened in 2019 was somebody decided to use our military and take out a target in Iran.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I would play ball with the country that used their military to underhandedly take out a military asset of mine. If I'm also trying to diplomatically rectify the situation.
Define underhandedly.
You go ahead and look it up since you know the definition.
You use the word.
This is a thing
Why do I have to do your homework?
Whenever he comes up and we bring up a topic that he doesn't seem to be the most familiar about, he will then hyper focus on a specific word that you said and kind of try and get you to elaborate on that to pick a hole at what you responded with, versus attacking the overall argument, which you seem to be doing a terrible job on, which is the fact that the actions that we're taking in the Middle East, that have been taken in the Middle East since the summer of 2025 and February 28th of 2026 are doing no good for the United States. They're bringing us no closer to peace and very much closer to nuclear extinction, because we're just pissing off, as you said, the world's biggest sponsor of terrorism more and more.
Should we not respond to terrorist threats and actions?
There was no imminent threat from Iran towards the United States when we struck them the first time, nor the second.
How can there be an imminent threat if the threat is constant?
The imminent threat of nuclear bombs, which the Trump administration used to justify said strikes, was not present. It could not even be confirmed by a director of national intelligence. Couldn't be confirmed by any real intelligence. Yes, Tulsi Gabbard, Donald Trump's pick. Oh, do you not like Tulsi Gabbard? You don't trust her?
I don't like that. I don't like that she said that shit. No.
Oh, you don't like that. Can you find any intelligence agency in existence that says Iran has nuclear weapons.
I fucking hate it here, bro.
Well, no, they don't have nuclear weapons.
Shit, man. Fuck. Well, I guess Tulsi was right. I hate saying
That's
that.
That's not even what she was talking about. She wasn't talking about nuclear weapons, bro.
No.
You're wrong.
Was she talking about
She's talking about enriched uranium. That is not a nuclear weapon.
No one ever denied that. No. So first off, there is no argument to be made that anyone has ever said that Iran was not enriching uranium. Specifically, she said that Iran does not have nuclear bombs. She said that. Now.
No, she didn't.
Okay, then you know what? Your proof. Go ahead and prove me wrong.
What did she say? I'm curious.
Come on.
What did she say?
Your opinion is wrong. Go get a new one, bitch.
I will say,
how often do you do this? Legitimate question. How often do you do this?
So to be honest with you, I don't usually go on people's lives for this long, and I almost never talk about Trump, and this is exactly why. And I'll concede that I'm not well versed enough on the topic, and I do want to say, like, respectfully, you guys are really, really good at this. I do like to debate things like history. That's what I usually stick with. But I do appreciate the conversation.
Have fun.
Can you say that she?
Yeah, no.
Trump supporters request up in the box. You're the demographic of people I like to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, you can call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. Listen, I have zero problem whatsoever with anyone just wanting information and want to ask legitimate questions. But bro tried to come up and go back and forth with me about the actions in Iran, and his first big hiccup being obliterated. Well, that's hyperbole, and that doesn't mean this, and that doesn't mean it's a lie. And oh my fucking gosh. Cases. What up, Egg?
I was just gonna say he doesn't like to argue about Trump because he doesn't know what he's talking about. On his whole page, he would rather argue about women's issues.
Or hyperbole.
That's all.
Whatever. I know.
Hyperbole. I don't think he can spell it.
Yeah.
It's hyperbole.
Thank you, Egg, for coming up. Egg,
Anywho,
Olive, I'm gonna
Egg
drop you
drop
guys
soup.
down for a moment, get some people up. I hate it when you say that.
Yeah, go ahead, drop me.
Get some people up here. Guys, make sure you're following Manny and Olive, fantastic creators on this platform. Olive goes live and you'll see Manny up there fighting the good fight. Appreciate you guys coming up.
Bye, Hector.
Later. That was the start. All right, guys, double tap that screen till the heart bar gets full. We've been live for 14 minutes away from an hour. We're not even at 50K likes. Let's get the likes up. Double tap that screen till the heart bar gets full. Share out the live with your friends and family. Also, make sure that you are reposting and adding to your story as well. Send your daily heart me's. Obviously, those of you who are fan club members, let's knock out the little finger heart goals. There's just 50 more of those to go. And of course, the best way to support the platform is going to be the links in the bio. But the topic is, which we didn't do a full introduction earlier, Trump supporters defend the indefensible. Do you regret your vote? This live is supposed to be and is advertised to be a safe space for Trump supporters to come up and share exactly what did them in on the MAGA plantation. What is something Donald Trump said? What actions did he take? What position did he hold, or thing that took place that he defended that was just quite literally indefensible, that just didn't sit right with your soul? This is a place for you to share your positions for the most part with minimal judgment. If you regret your vote, you can call in the number on screen or request up in the box. And if you are a Trump supporter who does not regret their vote, you still think he's doing a fantastic job, you think it's his actions in Iran or his tax cuts coming into play or his weaponization of ICE, if you think he's doing such a fantastic job by these metrics, you may request up in the box and I can give you several reasons as to why you're, well, wrong. I mean, quite frankly, it's wrong. I don't understand how anyone can look at the Trump administration and see good from it. Or better yet, you can take one thing and you can separate it from the plethora of bad, and you can say, oh yeah, sure, he's doing an exceptional job in this one specific area, an area that doesn't overwhelmingly benefit Americans. And then I would just respond with, I voted for a president of all Americans, not just the right. All he's been doing is playing partisan politics. I don't see how that helps anyone. It doesn't. It really doesn't. With that being said, the government is now reopened from the partial shutdown, which is, again, if I'm not mistaken, the longest. I want to say Donald Trump not only holds the biggest record for the longest full government shutdown, I think that's 43 days. That's what we hit last year. But I believe this is also the longest partial shutdown of 76. 76 today. Good news is, for those of you on our side of the aisle, we were able to get the government opened back up with ICE and other departments funded. No. DHS and other departments funded, but not specifically ICE. The provisions that they wanted to give them a couple more $1 billion to ramp up more of their enforcement, over their bonuses and all that, that was able to be tanked. So the government is opened back up, and Trump did not get extra funding for his modern day slave catcher Gestapo base. So slight good news. On the bad news, or the bad side, SCOTUS is trash, and black people have less rights. Less voting rights specifically, or rights overall. So give and take, I guess. Give and fucking take. I'm seeing a ton of people not understand the significance of that decision. I'm seeing a ton of people pull back on, yeah, we need to do away with the preferential treatment for the black people in the vote. That's not how that worked. That's not how that worked. I just think it's interesting that we're willing to uphold this map despite taking it to the Supreme Court over racial gerrymandering, and they say, no, there's no basis for this. And then with this other one, friendly reminder, the case of Virginia, Erica can speak on this better than I can. In that case with the Virginia map, the reason why the map was presented was because of what took place beforehand, to where they created they reduced another minority district, which you're supposed to have a basis for doing so because you're diluting the black vote. And then SCOTUS said, man, you can't do this based off of race, even though we let this other thing happen because of race. And now we're just walking back on our word. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. You can't, because it doesn't. It doesn't. Any cases, what did I have over here? I didn't see whatever that video. Oh, I saw you sent it here, Olive. Has him tagged? I guess you can tag anybody, Olive. Also, charge your phone. The next Congress needs to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. You know what's so crazy? I was actually going to make a quick video on that earlier. I didn't have the time. The John Lewis Voting Rights Act would have been something that could have stopped this from happening. Those of you who aren't familiar with it, the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, which is something Kamala Harris sponsored heavily on her 2024 campaign trail, or even before then as Vice President of the United States. It passed the House. It just went nowhere in the Senate because of 2021, and people were still hung up on black people talking about George Floyd and the injustice that took place with him. What it would have required is that any type of redistricting and whatnot that you wanted to pass, it had to prove that it wasn't going to be off of these racial factors. Like, it could not fuck over racial districts. So you have to send it over to the DOJ. The DOJ then had to vet this and ensure that these things weren't taking place. So the John Lewis Voting Rights Act would have went from, I guess, state government, state Supreme Court to SCOTUS. It would have had a middleman, which is the DOJ. And then I would say in a lot of cases, it would never have to go up to SCOTUS to begin with. The one problem I will say with that, especially under this administration, come to think of it, is if we had a bunch of these cases going to the DOJ, currently, I don't think it would have been looking good for us, to be fair. Under Trump's DOJ, it wouldn't have looked great for us. So the John Lewis Voting Rights Act would have only been able to do so much, but it still would have been additional protection for black and minority votes if it was a thing. But unfortunately, it's not. Unfortunately, it's not. What the fuck are you talking about? Hey, Zach, you can go ahead and call in. You're an idiot. Okay. Would you like to tell me how? Can you tell me what idiotic thing I've said? I don't understand why you guys do this. It's like a bunch of this. Oh, that thing you said is a lie. That thing you said is false. That thing is wrong. Can you tell me how? TDS. What am I supposed to do with that? You know, it would be more funny, though, if Democrats majority win in midterms. I mean, we've been sweeping all the special elections. We're looking pretty good on the gubernatorial or national races as well. So I think we got the House. I'm questioning the Senate. I don't think we're going to get the Senate. Or better yet, I won't say I don't think we're going to get the Senate. I'm going to hold off having more confidence on getting the Senate versus the House. I think the House is in the bag. We had a couple people die in the seat. We lost two individuals. What is the name? Tony Gonzalez and Swalwell because of sexual assault allegations. It's looking decent. It's looking decent for the House. The Senate is really the tall order because we have so many things that already passed the House. On the Democratic side, it's the Senate that held it up. You can talk about the Justice and Policing Act, the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. I believe there was one put forward for expanding the ACA or kind of revamping it a little bit more. All those things are literally stalled in the Senate. So that's mostly what I'm worried about. I really don't care that much about the House. And then we need a new House Speaker, of course. I just say those Republicans are trying to, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Spencer Feeding Pack is running for mayor in California. I'm unfamiliar with Spencer Pat, to be honest with you. I don't know the lore behind him. Good evening, Tori. Anti-cases. Trump supporters request up in the box. You are the demographic of people I would like to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, you can call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. I didn't see the one today, Maddie. I saw the Senate hearing yesterday. We spoke on the Fun and Fact show about Jason Crow. Jason Crow ate him up. Starbright, I would like to see AOC, personally. I want AOC as the Speaker of the House. I want her to be the Speaker of the House. There's a lot of people who want her to be president. Not to sleep on her. I just think we need a lot of work done in Congress to really get things moving. For the most part, I would argue most Democratic presidents, once you get it up to that point, once you get the bill to pass the House and the Senate, they're going to sign it into law. I think AOC would be better served getting shit out of the committee and sponsoring important legislation such as actually getting appropriate taxes for the rich, universal health care, more civil rights enforcement, and maybe even amendments to the Constitution. I think she would be the better person on those bills. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. A lot of people don't like it because they're like, we're putting down a woman again. I'm like, no, it's not putting her down. House Speaker is a huge fucking job. I think she would do an incredible job there. And then that would be one hell of a record to take on to a presidential run. That is my position on that. I don't know why you guys are chirping in the comments. I'm not addressing y'all's comments. I don't address keyboard warriors and Russian bots. If you are a real Trump supporter, there's a real number for you to call in. I don't know what else to tell you. Those of you on the tube side, I do not know what else to tell you. There are far too many of you. And this is the one thing I'll actually compliment Elon Musk on. This is probably never going to happen again. When they updated X to show how many of those accounts, those MAGA accounts, in any account to be fair, but specifically those MAGA accounts that were touting around Trump this and all their stupid memes, when they updated the account to show the location of many of these places, then we come to find out that it was in it was in freaking Russia, it was in freaking some in Africa, it was in freaking Istanbul, whatever the fuck. Like, they were everywhere. A lot of these MAGA accounts aren't here in the United States. They're not, pure-blooded patriots trying to save the country from the radical left. It was bots. It was foreigners. MAGA foreigners. Maple MAGA. Nigeria, yes. I just find it interesting. I just find it interesting how much of you guys' MAGA base isn't even real. But they fall for it. They fall for it. I'm unaware of leftist propaganda being touted around by, I don't know, the EU. I'm unaware of this mass funding the EU is putting forward for leftist propaganda of universal health care, trans people having civil rights, and I don't know, abolishing ICE. It's not a thing. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. W. Melanie for the 500 minutes. I appreciate you. W's to you. W's to you. Thank you for sending your daily heartbeats. Make sure you continue to send your daily heartbeats. Super important you do that. James is an annoying chirper. Okay, no problem. I know how to handle those people. Look at that. Look at that. Bam. Handled. We're not doing keyboard warriors anymore. We're not doing it. Absolutely not. I need to move that thing around as well. I didn't do that earlier. I didn't do that part earlier. I do be on my commie-ish. Good for you. What do you call a sleeping bull? A bulldozer? What the fuck, Ashley? What are you doing, Ashley? Are y'all carrying on the jokes from Erica's live? Is we carrying on those things? Is that what we're doing? Shauna started. I believe you. I wholeheartedly believe you. Trust me on that. Trust me on that. Well, it looks like we got a bunch of chicken shits today. Not many Trump supporters. I see the chirpers, but they're not calling in or requesting up, which sounds about right. I think we see day in and day out that the MAGA base is weakening, hence the point of this live. But the MAGA base is really, really losing steam. And I know why. I mean, we see the reasons. I believe Donald Trump's recent polling, and this is for moderates and Republicans as well, is not as strong as it was in the first month when he took over. January 2025, which makes sense because that's before he actually got to do anything. Dude's polling was strong. Initial executive orders were passed all the way into February, March, April. Things were looking good. When the big, beautiful bill passed, everyone cheered. They celebrated. Donald Trump was at the top, right? And then his directives started to sink in. And then we started to see that the corporations, the oligarchy that the billionaire was supposed to dismantle and distribute to the average American didn't work so much. Then we saw the prices go up from Donald Trump's unconstitutional tariffs under the IEPA. Then we saw him ramp up immigration enforcement and then allow ICE to go willy-nilly on undocumented migrants who are still afforded due process under the Constitution, and American citizens as well. And then for some reason, numbers tanked. Numbers tanked. Better yet, I think there's a lot of people who still quietly support him. Emphasis on quietly, but they don't really have much bass in their voice anymore. They don't have it. And I think that says a lot. I'm unaware of anyone on the left that has gotten more quiet even after our candidate Kamala Harris lost. They're still louder than ever. The commies, everyone, still louder than ever. But the Trump base, they don't know what they stand for anymore.
God bless you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Gucci, for the finger hearts. That's okay. I think it's just time that you reevaluate your positions and join the right side of history. This is the perfect year to do so. We are literally in an election, midterms election, where we can get out all of the people that you say are corrupt, the waste, the fraud, the abuse, the people who uphold the actions of this administration, the people who make it easier. We wouldn't have had some of the shutdowns that we did if we had the right people in Congress. That's what we're supposed to take care of this year. My entire family? Yikes. Yikes, Maddie. Yikes, Maddie. I am thankful enough to where I have non-voting family. I don't have MAGA family. I don't know what the hell I'd do if I had MAGA family. Because that's... Can you imagine? Better yet, I'm clearly speaking from a place of privilege here, and I'm thankful for that. But I could not imagine having a mother, a father, an uncle, a nephew, especially if we're talking about real MAGAs. Because there's a difference between just Republicans who are kind of on the train, and those are more so the quiet ones. Those are the people that are actually criticizing Trump. Those are the people who actually somewhat regret their vote. And then there's MAGA. And these are the people that eat up everything Donald Trump tells them. Donald Trump comes out and said that we ended DEI. even though it was never a federal government program that gave black people positions of power despite them having criminal records and shit. Those are the people that are still there. But even then, they're getting quieter because they're running out of steam. When they don't have their headlines from Fox News that day, when they don't have Donald Trump's Truth Social post bragging about things like, I'll never forget when he made the post saying that from Venezuela we're getting 30 to 50 million. I don't know if barrels is the right measurement, but I remember the 30 to 50 million number of oil that he said we're getting from Venezuela. And if that was the actual truth, we would have seen that reflected in the gas prices here, right? The gas prices wouldn't have shot up the way that they did based off the Strait of Hormuz. We should be able to inject that back into the economy and kind of mitigate these actions. But instead, we have nothing. Absolutely nothing. W's in the chat, the bloody quote for the $5 super chat. You may not be far left enough for me, but you embarrass them well. I don't know what your what your I guess position on leftism is. I don't know what part of left that you lean. I guess I don't know. Are you like a communist? In which case, no, I guess I would not lean as left as you. No, not at all. But there's that. I think you're far left. Far left is so subjective, though. It really is. First off, anything to Trump supporters think anything and everything is far left. Trump supporters literally believe anything and everything is far left. We know this because Trump supporters will look at the Democratic Party. I'm not talking about the people who vote. I'm not talking about some of its affiliates. I'm saying the actual party in and of itself. They will look at the party and they'll say, Democrats are far left. There is no one far left in the Democratic Party. Not a single person. You can go over to the DSA. The DSA is not far left because they still work within the confines of capitalism. So, I don't know. I don't know what far left means to some of these fucking people at this point, to be completely honest with you. I really don't. Most of my family is MAGA, especially my mom. It's exhausting. Jesus Christ. I am so sorry. Obviously, I'm not going to tell everyone to just cut off their family left and right, but I don't know what else you can really do. I don't really know what else you can do with that, personally. Hey, K-Dog, shut up. Shut the fuck up. You can do that. You can do that. Get up in the box. I don't know why you're chirping so much. I really don't. How about those CPI numbers? What about them? Open borders is far left. Well, congratulations. The Democratic Party isn't that. Look at that. We don't look at what the Democrats talk about. It's what they do. What do they talk about? What do they talk about? They called me the other day, tell me about Trump's attempt, and I said, okay, call me when he... That's wild. Want him to say that to my face. Will he, though? We got a bunch of keyboard warriors tonight, Shauna. I'm not expecting much people to say anything to anyone's faces, including mine, and they're literally safely across the screen from them. Hey, K-Dog. What's all this chirping you're doing down there in the comments?
You're a friend or whatever, obviously, right? So basically, I just said I didn't vote, and she said you're proud of that. So go read. What is
your point?
So I was talking back. To her. Like what? Like go read the fucking message.
What am I looking for in the message? Oh, and he ran.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
That sounds about right. I know what you said, Shauna. I've literally been reading the messages. I know what you said. He said, I don't vote because people lie. Okay. I don't know what people have to do with the party that you'd be voting on and the individuals in said party who you'd be voting for based off of what they can actually achieve, in which case you would have a record that you can use to follow up with in regards to their position in House, Senate, go lower, city council, go higher, governor. Like what? Profound, exactly. Exactly. So profound. Oh my God, both parties lie. Okay. Stop voting for the liars and then vote them out. I don't understand non-voters' arguments at all. They're not good ones. They're not good ones. It's, I'm going to say, because there is allegedly corruption here and because of this one or two thing they did over here, then I'm just going to be a waste of space in the political process. Okay? And look where that got us. You guys really need to stop making excuses for your laziness. Just say you don't give a shit. I would respect people more, specifically non-voters, you third-party voters. I would respect you more if you just said, I don't actually give a shit about this, but I think it looks good when I talk about it. And I really like to talk about politics, even though I really don't get involved. And yeah, it's fun for me. Just say it's fun for you. Unfortunately, politics is fun for a lot of people. Watching these debates. You know how many people watch these shows? Actually, you guys do know. How many people just watch these shows and they don't actually care? They don't actually listen in? They don't do nothing? I didn't get a notification. It's been weird, Jordan. It's been weird. Is he socialist? I know you did not just fucking say Donald Trump is a socialist. Yeah, you just earned my attention there. There's a call-in number. Call in and tell me how Donald Trump is a socialist. Please, I fucking beg. I fucking beg. I want to know what makes Donald Trump a socialist. Some of you guys, you fucking Bernie to Trump pipeline mofos, don't understand what socialism is. I'm so tired of having this argument with people about the same people who say Bernie was screwed over in 2016, so I voted for Trump. This is how I know you didn't vote for actual values. You didn't vote for actual policy. You just voted for the person. You voted for their personality. Bernie had a personality that you guys liked because he was a white guy who shitted on the establishment, which makes you guys feel, what's the word for that? Sigma. Makes you guys feel Sigma, that distinct from the pack or whatever the fuck. And Trump was, in his own way, also that person. And you just like that. You don't actually care about what Bernie Sanders stands for. You don't. Because there's no way, there's no reasonable way that you could vote for Bernie Sanders and then follow up with Trump based off of values. It would be based off of them both being white men and saying what you wanted to hear, what validated your feelings inside. And you guys should be a lot more honest about that. Because Bernie Sanders' values are maintaining civil rights. Bernie Sanders' values is, I believe he's always been a supporter of universal health care. I think the one really bad position that he has, personally, it was in regards to immigration. He still touts around that like undocumented migrants can be a net negative or whatever the fuck. That's stupid shit. We don't listen to that. What up, E?
Hector! Hi, friend.
What is that?
Check Discord. I just sent you a video.
Let's see.
Hi, chat. Hi, tubers. No crash outs because I ate food.
Oh yeah, I watched this one. We'll play it for.
Oh, you chat. Saw that? Did you share it with the people, with the chat and everything?
I'm about to play it.
Okay. Jordan.
Instagram.
How is Jordan gonna disappoint me today?
I'm proud of Jordan. Jordan actually had a hot take for once.
He did.
Jordan
actually had a hot take. Fazole.
You got Fazoli's?
No, not Fazoli's. Even though there is a Fazoli, but I got Pozzoli. Oh, I can't say it. Pozzoli?
This is the wrong tab.
I ordered
Fazoli's or Pozzolis?
Pozzoli. Okay. It's a soup.
Oh, you're talking about a food. I thought you were talking about a restaurant. Pozzoli. I've never had that.
Delicious. But you don't eat pork. But you can make it with chicken.
I'm trying to avoid pork. Pork is gross.
Don't know swine. Touch these lips of mine.
Not sure how many of you guys have seen this before. This is a Fox reporter on a hot mic about the security at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. It's actually pretty interesting. Let me put that.
I love that they have like 2 random chicks holding the front door open. We're not even trying anymore. It's not even like, I just mean like they're not even like Secret Service people. It's like the girls who work here are holding the door. Even if it was the guys, it wouldn't even make it better. It's like it's just like they might as well put a doorstop in. Like, they put up a doorstop and a scarecrow. Don't fuck with this guy.
I think everyone in the Secret Service needs to be put on leave. Have the military, because Donald Trump utilizes the military for everything else but their job. Have the military become the new Secret Service temporarily, okay? And you put every Secret Service agent on leave, and you vet every one of them to find out which one of them really want Donald Trump dead. Because at this point, I don't know how else to explain the pathetic security that he's had at these events all the way back to Butler. Which we know what happened with Butler. We don't have to get into it. But I'm just saying, every single one of them needs to be put on leave. Or better yet, I don't know, keep them. It benefits me either way. But I'm just saying, do something.
No, but they're doing a really bad job, Hector, because what I read about that floor, that lower level at the hotel, at the Hilton, is that not only do they have the entire street cordon off, so Connecticut Avenue. Oh, thank you, Gooch. Draw some hearts in the chat for Gooch. Thank you. And they have that entire block cordon off. You can't book a hotel, like a room there the day before or a day of. And also that floor, the lower level where the ballroom is supposed to be not just cordon off, but for those who are supposed to go in, you have to present a ticket and go through a security check. So how he get in?
How he get in?
How you get in? They suck at their jobs, bro. Like, come on.
Have we not seen anything come out with like security footage or anything of that nature?
They say he held the room for a month. What? Where you get that money from for the Hilton in DC? He rich?
The shooter?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound right.
How you do that?
That doesn't.
He paid for the room for a month. That don't even sound right.
Yeah, ain't no way. If he
not
did
saying that you're wrong, love. Giggles. I'm not saying that you're wrong. That just sounds like implausible. That's a lot of money.
If he did that for a month, somebody funded him, bro. It's gotta be that. It's gotta be
That's
that.
crazy. He wasn't even a real teacher. He was like a tutor.
Yeah, I haven't really looked up too much on the shooter specifically, to be honest with you.
That's crazy.
Because I in part, I'm kind of like, why? I just... Either A... Okay, it's not far-fetched to think that one of the most controversial presidents of the United States would have, I guess, the most, or coming up on the most assassination attempts. That's not far-fetched. That makes sense to me. That part makes sense to me. What doesn't make sense to me is how they all seem to be very either super lazy attempts that are gone about in a strange way, or they're far too close to miss. I believe Obama had 11 attempts on his life during his
Was
full
it
term.
attempts or threats? Because those are different.
I believe it was threats, like manifestos and stuff. I don't know how many.
Yeah, it had to be
attempts actually went
threats.
through. That sounds more likely. Yes. Or was it 14? It will probably be threats, but these attempts that we've seen on the president's life have been like, it was threats. Yes. I don't know. It just doesn't track. It doesn't track at all.
It doesn't make sense. I don't get it. To be honest, I think two were like real Gucci bags, and the other two were like the kind that you can buy on Canal Street. That's how I put that. Protect the life. And the two that you could buy on Canal Street definitely happened where the Liberty Bell is. All right. And the other one happened where the Capitol is. Mm-hmm. Yep. The two that happened at Mar-a-Lago, the two real Gucci bags, all right, those more plausible because they didn't get close to him.
Those will make more sense.
That shit don't make no sense.
Hi, Sky. Hope you've been doing well. Any case, let's try this again. Trump supporters request up in the box. You are the demographic of people I'd like to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, you can call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. Defend the indefensible. If you are a Trump supporter who believes that you have no possible reason whatsoever to regret your vote, that he's doing everything that you voted for him to do, then you may discuss it. And if you are a Trump supporter who does regret their vote, you've grown tired of these actions, you've grown tired of the lies, your family's vexing you, then you can call in or request up as well. This live is a safe space for you to express your opinions with minimal judgment. It's about time you guys get on the right side of history, and I think this month is the perfect time to do so. April 30th, bro. New month, new you, okay? MAGA. This is my call. This is my call to you. New month, new you. You can start over May being slightly less shitty than in April. Wouldn't that be nice? I'm just saying, would it be nice to get a sliver of your humanity back? Wouldn't that be nice? Just a thought. I did have this. Let me see if I can pull it up here. There's a reel I did want to show you. I just want to make sure I saved it on my end. Is it this one? No, it's not. Oh, yeah, this is the one I sent you of Kamala Harris. I told you so. Like, it is not fun being right. Oh, here it is. I found it. So Tim Walz, I believe, did his last address in Minnesota. Let me put that up on the screen for you guys. And Republicans decided to heckle him, and he had a really, really funny response. Let me put this up on screen. Move this down. I did not shrink that. All right, hold on. Let me refresh it.
I can't stand those people. I'll explain why after the video.
My last State of the State address. Next year, take it. But the things we implemented will be here for decades.
Shout out to Tim Walz.
Said.
That's how it's done. I'm tired of stressing this. Legislation.
Bro, you missed it. Oh my gosh, I hung up on this person because this dude calls in and he says, all right, he's talking about how like he's a young black dude at that. He was like 24. He was telling we should just support Trump because he's the president and he only has 2 years left. He just kept saying that he only has 2 years left. And I'm like, and I tried to explain to him that like legislation lasts for decades. Like Trump is doing things that are going to impact us for like the next 50 years or even more. We should support it because he's the president. He only has 2 years left. I said, okay, all right. I said, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was signed 62 years ago. Right? Does the Civil Rights Act of 1964 still impact us today? Hector?
Yes, it
Hector?
does.
Hector, why did this child say, "Oh, well, I wasn't alive then. I'm not a historian. And can you tell me what that is?" I said no and hung up the phone.
Honestly, I probably would have done the same.
No, I'm not doing that. Nope.
Again, we have a bunch of passing people just scrolling through lives, and they go, "Oh, I like Trump, and this person probably has TDS, so I'm just gonna go up there and debate them." Yeah, we don't just say Trump's which this should be enough. We don't just say Trump's a rapist, I don't like him. We don't just say, "Oh, he's mean to people, we don't like him." No, we know policy. We can go over executive orders. We can give you numbers. We can give you names. We can give you memos, quotas. It's a little bit harder for you guys to do what you do when you don't have your Newsmax headlines. Because how are you going to try and argue politics with someone when you don't know what the Civil Rights Act is? Especially if you're going to talk against black people. Especially if you're going to talk against that.
That part. And the crazy thing is, I was gonna go from the Civil Rights Act to the Voting Rights Act, and then into Louisiana versus Calais, the decision yesterday. But when he said that, and it didn't feel genuine. It felt like he was doing the disingenuous thing, like he was trying to be funny, is what he was doing. Because he knew that the answer was yes, it does. And that's why I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not your mother. Like, you should have learned that like in 3rd or 4th grade, bro.
Literally.
Yeah, legislation has consequences.
Hell, even what I used to do. Before I used to request up on panels, this is when I didn't know nothing about nothing. Before I requested up on a panel and spoke on something, I Googled it before. I'm like, let me double check this really quickly.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
I just want the confidence, the ignorant confidence of a white man.
I don't like that part.
It must be nice.
Oh, you missed it also. I'm just giving you the highlights. Since the Trump supporters are likely hate watching, Hector has a phone number on the screen. You guys can call it. And if you're over to TikTok, you can turn the pink and blue icon at the bottom gray and get in the box. But Hector, this one guy, he called and I was like, "Why are you still supporting Trump?" I said, "Why are you still supporting Trump?" And he goes, like, he mentions immigration and he mentions something else, but then he goes and he said, "I just want to ask you a question." And I was like, "Okay." He was like, "What do you think about the Supreme Court decision yesterday?" So I'm not discussing that with a white man. He said, "What? So you're a race?" Oh, he said, "How do you know I'm white?" I said, "Oh, I know. I have my ways." He said, "Oh, so you're a racist?" I said, "That right there just told me you're a white man. Like, what are we doing?"
Literally. And then they'll still. I had this one dude come up before because I said someone white guy is like, "You don't even know my race, but you're already against white people." I'm like, "Are you white?" He's like, "Yeah." So then you'd be the white person I'd be talking shit about that literally uphold regression in this country. And are the demographic of racists that make other white people look bad. The exact person I was talking about. Now I'm a racist for calling it out, and you confirm that you're white. The dude said, what the fuck did he say? He said that black people have more representation in the Democratic Party. So Republicans can't be racist if Republicans keep reaching out and black people don't respond. That black people are racist towards Republicans. First off, he said black people were racist towards Republicans. And I was like, people don't know what racism means. People don't know what racism means.
Mm-mm. And we try to tell them like all the time, but then they don't listen. Mm-hmm. So it's like, keep talking.
I may.
Oh, thank you, Neely.
I may have to do a restart.
I think you are gonna have to.
Yeah. About 2.5 minutes.
I'll be back.
We'll be at the 1.5 mark, and I'll go ahead and do it. But guys, go check out my latest video. Those of you, I uploaded literally on everything right before I went live. How many of you guys know Village Boy? I spoke to him. That was fun. So I uploaded a little clip of that. It was something. W, thank you guys for the comments. Make sure you continue to double tap the screen. Send your daily heartbeats if you have not already. We're about to do a restart, and perhaps Perhaps Mr. State. See, I don't know that name. I only knew him by Village Boy. But yeah, Eric and other people call him Mr. State. So there's that. But yeah, we're going to do a restart in a moment and see if we can get some people that have some stones up in the box. I will not hold my breath. Personally. Why do they call him Mr. State, though? That's my question. Like, why do they? I don't know where that name came from. Not in the slightest. Anywho, you will, Maddie. Once you see the video, you will. You probably heard him in a live before. You just don't know him by name. Homeboy got the thickest fucking accent. Thickest Nigerian accent. I appear to talk to you, right? Thick accent. And talking about how Donald Trump is the savior of America, and he's a naturalized Nigerian American. He said that he was going to call ICE on me. Talking like that. He said he was going to call ICE on me. I don't know about you guys. I don't think I sound like I'm from outside the United States. I personally don't think so. If you guys hear a little accent, I don't know where the fuck it would come from. I don't think I have one. But according to this guy, I guess I would have one of the factors that ICE is using and the Supreme Court upheld to racially discriminate. Or I guess vocally at this point, if you have an accent, if you have a certain skin tone. Who knows with these people? Who knows? He also loves and listens to sing to baby girl pop music. That is true. He was on Santana's live singing. Santana was trying to get him to beatbox. It was funny. Somebody paying him? Wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me if he was like that other guy that was just recently exposed for taking money from Republicans. The black guy who talked about being paid. Yeah, it would not surprise me if it was another one of those dynamics. He loves him some Sabrina Carpenter. Foreign black is wild work. That part. All right, we're going to do a quick restart over on the TikTok side. You guys got 2 minutes. I think it's a 2-minute video, roughly. They literally always do this. Hold, please.
Call from?
Josh.
Josh, you're on the line. Did you vote for Trump?
I did, yes.
And do you regret your vote?
Yes, I do.
Why is that?
Well, I think, there's a lot of reasons why. One of the reasons for me that I stopped supporting Trump was the Epstein files. The fact that he hasn't released all of the Epstein files, to me, suggests that maybe he was involved in some way. I think in many ways liberals were correct about Trump's character. What I think they are wrong about is the fact that they call Trump a fascist. In my opinion, Trump is a neocon, not a fascist.
Okay. I would say Donald Trump very much meets the requirements on just about every, if not most, of the 14 tenets of fascism. And any correlations to neocon is what it is.
Well, I think there are some definite authoritarian aspects about Trump, but I think his belief system falls in line more with neocon, not fascism.
Oh, it still wouldn't be something that they would be wrong about, pointing out the ways that he very much does align with fascism.
Yeah, but you could say that about any president. A lot of presidents have done things that are authoritarian. Does it cross into fascism? I wouldn't say so. I think you have to look at the belief system. You have to look at the actual policy. I don't think Trump's policies are particularly fascist. I think a lot of it's just very standard neocon stuff. It's basically the kind of stuff you would have got if Jeb Bush had become president.
That's an interesting take. In regards to his belief system, I think that is just something that we can point towards in regards to the things he says on a daily basis, whether on a press briefing or on his Truth Social, in regards to his directives, the conversations that's been leaked in private. When the guy came out and said things like, hey, I want the generals that Hitler had. I want to be able to shoot at protesters in the kneecaps. I think those things can very much be used to identify him as a fascist-leaning person.
Well, you could say that, but then there's also the other side where, he's the first Republican. I mean, this is not a defense of Trump. I don't like him. But he was the first Republican president to support gay marriage. That's not something a fascist would do. And then you look as well, he had a Truth Social post, I think, back in March, where he came out in support of children becoming transgender as long as they have parental consent.
I'm sorry.
Now, that
he
is
did
definitely not a position. He came out in support, saying that children can become transgender or take hormone blockers if they have parental consent. I think it was March 6th he made a Truth Social post saying that. He got a lot of blowback from his supporters, but this was a position that he supported. So for me, I mean, that doesn't scream fascism. That's very liberal in many ways.
I'm double checking that. That does not sound right. Donald Trump has been pretty consistent on his positions on.
He
on
did say that
people.
you can check it. He did
March
come out and say he was in favor. Yes. He came out and said he was in favor of children taking hormone blockers or becoming transgender as long as they had parental consent. That was his position. My position is I think somebody should wait till they're 18, till they're an adult before they can do that. But his position was as long as they have parental consent, that it's fine.
The post here that we have dated for March the 6th. Well, this is one of them anyway. This is regards to Iran. There will be no deal with Iran except unconditional surrender. Obviously, this is just one, and he seems to utilize that damn app as his diary. Strait of Hormuz fully blockaded. There's another one. March 14, 2025. Yeah, I'm not seeing any posts with Donald Trump supporting.
Well, what I think you should, it definitely was. I saw the actual post. Obviously, I don't have it on me now because I'm not on Truth Social, but I did see the actual post, and he did get a lot of blowback from his supporters. I would suggest maybe you consult with like ChatGPT, because that will be able to actually pull up the actual post of Trump. But he definitely did say it.
I'm literally looking it up here. You don't have to use ChatGPT. There has been no statements whatsoever that Donald Trump has made in support of trans youth. Where did you see this post?
He hasn't. I can look it up for you right now, but I did see it on Truth Social. He did get a lot of blowback from his supporters on it. Just give me 1 second.
I think you should
just
look
try
it
and
up.
find
I would
it
greatly
exactly.
appreciate it.
Yeah. But no, he definitely did say it. Just let me look it up 1 second.
This shit doesn't exist. Hi, Free. Let's see. Trump make a post on March 6th of the year. Maybe you have the date wrong. Is it the 5th?
Maybe I do. I might be misremembering it, but I did definitely see the post. I do believe it was in March that he came out and said. He also said it on the campaign trail once as well. Again, I can't remember the exact date of that, but he did say it. Let me just try and find the actual post. Just give me 1 second.
I feel like you're mixing up Donald Trump with someone else.
No, he actually did say it. I mean, some of these points are the reasons. I mean, I'm a social conservative myself. These are a lot of the points that I don't like Trump on. So, yeah, early March, it was about his proposed Save America Act. So I've got it up here because he made the post about the Save America Act, and in that post he wrote something saying no transgender mutilation surgery for children without the express consent of parents. That was the exact post.
That isn't showing support for said thing, but yeah, I'm reading it up now.
Well, it is if he's saying without express consent from the parents. So if the parents consent to it, then it's fine. So.
Save America Act. Number 1, all voters must show voter ID identification. Number 2, all voters must show proof of citizenship in order to vote. Number 3, no mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel. Number 4, no men in women's sports. Number 5, no transgender mutilation surgery for children without the express. I don't know why that part's blocked off. Hold on, I'm opening it up here. Without the express written approval of the parents.
Yeah. So again, I mean, this is not a position that, you know, like if we're looking at fascists throughout history, I mean, would Mussolini, would Hitler have supported that? They would be against transgenderism in its entirety, not against.
So that wouldn't negate all of the other tenets that he would very much match just because he deters from shitting on trans people as a whole. Also, this thing here, and basically leaving it up to what it is, which is express written approval from the parents, doesn't negate the fact that he's transphobic as hell.
I mean, there are some aspects of his policies that he's not in favor of transgenderism, sure. Like he doesn't want them serving in the military. But, you know, when you're in favor of children, as long as I've...
Again, you're talking about favor. This is just a Truth Social post that he made, and from everything that I've been seeing, there was no
This is a policy proposal. This is a policy proposal
that doesn't even have anything to do with the SAVE Act. The title of this post is the Save America Act.
Sure, but this is a post that he made, and this is a position that he supports.
This is not, again, him just saying something isn't necessarily showing his support for it, especially if it's not met with, I guess, confirmation afterwards.
Like, well, I mean, you don't know down the line, this might become a policy proposal. I mean, this is something he supports.
Here's Matt Walsh. No trans surgery for children without parental consent is meaningless. Walsh. The kids who are mutilated almost always have parental consent. The consent of the parents is not the issue. The issue is that the procedure is barbaric and insane, no matter if parents agree to it or not.
I agree with him on that. Yes. Children should not be having transgender surgeries or being put on hormone blockers. It's just insane.
Children, if they get anything, would be at the age of 16, I think, at the earliest, and that's dependent on states, and that would be with the express written consent, therapy, and several other factors before that takes place. It's a last-minute resort. The rest of their transitioning would be social. So there's no quote-unquote mutilation going on.
Well, it's not mutilation, but there's parents that want to put their children on
some
puberty
states
block.
You can even get a drink or with your parent. This would be following those same laws, those same guidelines.
Well, there are parents that want to put their children on puberty blockers because if their children express that they're trans, they want to put them on puberty blockers. I don't think that should happen. I think you're damaging a child's endocrine system if you're doing that, and you don't know if they're going to change their mind later on. I think you have to wait till they're an adult before they can
the same with many other things that you can do. I don't know what your point is.
Well, I'm just saying I don't support the idea.
Do you know what the
children
percentage
should have
of people who detransition is?
Well, that doesn't matter. I think even if it's a small number of people,
also,
I don't think that you should be making
Donald
the
Trump
decision when you're a child. He deleted the post because he got blowback from his supporters, but this was a position that he himself supported.
Do you think that this is supposed to negate the fact that he's a transphobic fuck who has done absolutely nothing but shit on their community?
I mean, I think he's very much more pro-gay and pro-trans than any other Republican president before him. He's pushing the Republican Party towards the left socially.
He's not.
So, I mean, from your guys' perspective, this is a win for you.
It's not.
Because
a win for us would have been getting a candidate who would have affirmed gender-affirming care for trans youth and trans people as a whole. It would have been a candidate who would not have kicked transgender people out of the military solely based off of their identity after running off of merit. It would have been a candidate who wouldn't have passed executive orders trying to abolish trans identities in the federal government. You can't give me this stupid Truth Social post, which he deleted as an example of, hey, him being all for trans folks or trans youth, and B, him not being a fascist. That doesn't negate everything else. And if you think he's performing and whatnot, so be it. Then he's doing one hell of a job at meeting those criteria, performance or not.
Well, a lot of his positions, he's moving the Republican Party towards the left socially. I mean, that's kind of a win for you guys in a way, because the Republican Party used to be dead against gay marriage. They've completely dropped the ball on that issue. They don't even talk about that issue anymore.
They very much,
a lot of the
entirety
social
of the party
issues.
know, because there's many gay people in there, and they realize it was a losing battle.
Well, this is what I'm saying, is that they have given up the fight on a lot of these issues.
Given up as a
So
stretch.
in many ways, Trump has moved the party towards the left socially. He was the first president, not just Republican president, first president to enter office in favor of gay marriage. Now,
you want to take
obviously,
one
this is not a
thing
defense
that
of
he's
the guy.
leaning
I don't like him,
left
but
on and use that as an example to say that
leaning
he's
left on those
helping anyone? We didn't need his help. We already had a party. We already have candidates of people who affirmed all the things that we believed. Trump moving fascist-leaning, dick-sucking supporters more socially left as they continue to vote on behalf of legislation that restricts said people's rights, that does what they just did in the Supreme Court for black people, Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, that is revisiting birthright citizenship, that is passing the biggest fucking tax cuts for the 1%. His Truth Social post that is gone now.
I don't support a lot of the things he does. So if you're talking about the fact that he's cutting taxes for the 1%, that's not a position I support. So, like I said, I don't support the guy anymore. There's a lot of things about Trump I don't like. But what I'm saying is that he is moving the party socially left. If it was the other case, if the Democrats were moving to the right on issues that I support, I wouldn't be criticizing them as much. I wouldn't be calling them, certainly going to the extremes or calling them communists or anything. I don't actually think they are. But a lot of the left goes to the extreme. They say Trump is a fascist, or the Republicans are fascists. They're neocons, and in many ways they.
Can you name one of the 14 tenets of fascism?
God bless you.
Well, I can't recite them off the top of my head.
Can you give me a rough draft? You don't have to give it word for word. Give me a
Well,
tenet.
I mean, I guess what I would define fascism as is when you look at history, other fascist regimes like Nazi Germany. I would say as well.
Okay, and
Mussolini,
all of those
Italy,
examples that you can give, meet
what I would
some of
say
those
about
tenets. So can you give me an
is-
example of the tenet that one of those places met?
Like I said, I don't know them off the top of my head. I would have to look them up.
God bless
but
you.
When you characterize a fascist
Thank you,
regime,
Erica, for the
generally
spring
speaking,
sunset.
what
I appreciate you.
Fascist. Sorry.
Let's do this here. Powerful and continuing nationalism. Do you think Donald Trump is a powerful and continuing nationalist?
No.
No.
No, not at all. I mean, this is a guy he's not even really against legal immigration. He's against illegal immigration.
He's
which
quite
most
literally made it
countries in the
hard
world
for
are.
people to legally immigrate
Most
to the
countries
United
in the world
States.
are against illegal
The
immigration.
second he got
He's
into the Oval
very much in
Office,
favor of
he
legal immigration.
restricted legal immigration. He made it more expensive. He canceled the application of legal asylum seekers. He revoked temporary protected status for over 500,000, a number's way up at this point. Haitians, Nicaraguans, Venezuelans, Cubans, so on and so forth. He's made it very clear that he's very nationalist. He quite literally ran off of America first.
What I would say, what I would say about it, there's two different types of nationalism. There's ethnic nationalism, which I think fascism would fall under, and there's civic nationalism. Trump is a civic nationalist. What he does is he wants an immigration policy which favors Silicon Valley, which is why he's in favor of H-1B visas, for instance. That's not really something a fascist would support. If you look at actual fascists, you look at somebody like maybe Nick Fuentes, who I think would fall under a fascist ideology. He's very different to Trump. He's more ethnic nationalist, whereas Trump is a civic nationalist.
So degrees
of
nationalist?
That's a very different thing.
Hey, different degrees of nationalist doesn't negate Trump's nationalism. Powerful
it does,
and
because,
continuing nationalism at that.
Because fascism is a lot more extreme nationalism than civic nationalism. Civic nationalism is what.
So he's a baby fascist? Follow. Is that what we want to go with? He's a baby fascist?
No, he's a neocon.
Hey, I've done all these different things to restrict legal immigration here in the United States. I've done everything in my power to demonize people from other countries that I consider shitholes or brown or have low cultures and all these different things. But
more H-1B
I just
visas
haven't
to keep
completely
universities
stopped the
open. He's
process
allowing
because,
more
quite
Chinese
frankly,
students
Donald Trump can't completely
into
stop legal immigration, or at least not yet, not so soon. So, according to him,
But
because
he's
he
made
hasn't
no
completely
attempt
done
because
it, you can't make
what
him
Tr-
a full-on
what-
fascist. What?
No, he's not a fascist. He's a servant of his donors, and the donors want more
A servant of his fascist
legal
donors that
immigration.
he's
They
pissing off
want more
because he
H-1B
hasn't gone
visas.
far enough. Donald Trump was asked last year in an interview in regards to ICE's actions. And at this point, we had the raids, we had them picking up illegal immigrants during their court hearings, so on and so forth. And he was asked, what do you have to say to the criticism that you've gone too far? And he quite literally said, we haven't gone far enough. Follow up a couple months afterwards, ICE agents are killing American civilians, and then he's calling them domestic terrorists to soften the blow. Hi, Erica.
Hey Hector, I sent you a video
The thing is about
that I think would be
with
pretty
Trump,
awesome
with the
to play.
illegal
Can you hear
immigration, I
me?
mean, he's walked back his position on mass deportation. He walked it
Hey
back.
caller, can you hear me?
So this is not a guy who's particularly serious on the immigration.
You can't hear me.
Even with his campaign promise of building a wall, he didn't even build a wall.
Tennessee, they're rambling.
That never materialized.
It literally a big beautiful
I mean, a
bill
lot
passed
of
to
the
get
things
more
he
funding
does.
for the border wall. It was one of the first things they did. They went over
He
there.
didn't
They
even build-
painted
he
it.
built
They
a
painted
few-
it black to make it hotter.
It's not even a wall. It's
do
a
you hear
shitty
my
fence,
guest
and
on the
it
panel?
doesn't even cover the whole southern border.
Do you hear my guest on the panel? Erica, say something.
I cannot hear. No. I
Hello?
cannot hear.
Did you just hear her
You
say
can't hear
hello?
me?
No, I can't hear her. Sorry.
What happened to my thing? Hold on, I'll fix that in a second. I don't know if this video will play then for him. I see your video now, Erica. Let me pull that up. Oh, here's a here is a 58
first,
second
Hector.
video. Yes.
Hector, first,
putting America
first because he can't hear me. Oh, because he can't hear me anyways. First thing you do though, ask him like what has Donald Trump said about undocumented immigrants, because he said that Donald Trump isn't an ethnic nationalist when in fact he is. All right, by his definition of it, because Donald Trump has said certain things about undocumented or immigrants in general, all right, that would lead one to believe that he wants to rid the country, all right, of said people.
Yeah, that's correct. Hold on, I'm trying to fix this audio thing. I'm gonna play this video really quickly, and let me know if you hear this, caller.
We're putting America first. It hasn't happened in a lot of decades. We're putting them first. We're taking care of ourselves for a change, folks. Thank you. I like that guy, but not that much. Not that much.
I can't
But
hear
radical Democrats want to turn back the clock.
I don't know what the hell happened to my system, bro.
Okay.
Well, I'll figure that out later. There is a clip posted by the Time magazine that's dated, what's the date that I have here? October 23rd, 2018, where Donald Trump literally calls himself a nationalist.
Yeah, he calls himself a nationalist. That's to get votes. But if you look at his specific brand of nationalism, it's civic nationalism. A fascist would probably be more in the
So
line
he
of
leans
an ethnic
into
nationalism.
fascism to get support from fascist people just for votes. And he can do this without being
He leans into more
a
civic
fascist.
nationalism. He leans into.
Can you tell me
frustrations
what's the
with
difference between
immigration,
this
particularly
nationalism and
illegal
civic
immigration?
nationalism that you keep trying to distinguish?
Well, civic nationalism is sort of a nationalism based on laws rather than ethnicity. So an ethnic nationalist would say this country needs to be more white. Trump hasn't really come out and said that.
So he hasn't said it
position
directly,
really is that
as
we
he
should have an
demonizes
immigration
people
system.
of other ethnic backgrounds, and you're using that to say that he would not be a nationalist.
Because he wants more H-1B visas to come in, and most of those come from like India and China.
That's for work.
And he wants to
That's
do that
for
to
work.
serve his donors.
To literally
So that's
appease
not-
his
that's-
rich friends so that they can get
Yes.
better labor versus paying
Yes.
American citizens, I guess
Yes.
more so of a regular wage without the benefits.
Yes. Yeah, that's not a position I support, by the way. I don't support
That doesn't
that position. I think it's
negate
bad,
his
obviously.
nationalism.
But it does actually, because an ethnic nationalist would not care what rich people want. They would want to have a racially pure nation. That's what a fascist would actually do.
He's just a baby fascist who cares about his wallet and utilizing other. Oh, I'm sorry. I feel like this is like making an argument that slave owners weren't racist, they weren't white supremacists, they weren't white nationalists because they utilized black people for their labor. And a true one would not utilize black people for slave labor. That's not the case at all. They utilize them for labor. They consider them 3/5 of a fucking person. They get their rocks off on them, in them, so on and so forth. And it doesn't change the fact that they were hood-wearing pieces of shit.
Yeah, well, I don't.
Being a nationalist, being a white nationalist, doesn't negate the fact that you would still utilize other groups of people that you would demean and consider less than for your overall goal.
But you have to also understand that things have changed. Sure, they are using them for cheap labor, but it's not exactly the same as slavery.
I didn't say it was the exact same thing as slavery. The examples that I was giving is that you don't have to be not utilize another demographic that you consider less than to say that you're not a nationalist.
Given I need to get Mia in America's demographic situation. A actual white supremacist would not support flooding the country with people from India. I mean, you could make the case back in the days of slavery. The reason they brought Africans
up H-1B visas is in flooding the country with migrants, and it specifically be legal migrants that you can utilize for your job. And then they're not here to stay; they're just here to work on your AI, your engineering, and then they go back. And then you couple that with restricting legal pathways to citizenship, making it more expensive. That would even more so solidify the fact that he ultimately does not want them here to stay.
Well, that might be the case. I'm not sure. He might give him a path to citizenship. He might not. He might not even be in office.
He hasn't.
He will leave office in 4 years.
We're talking about the actions he's taken so far. We're talking about the actions he took in his first term.
We
can use all of that to say, I'm not ruling him out as being a nationalist because of things he hasn't done yet. I'm looking at everything that he has done.
The issue is that he's not going to be president forever. And what will happen, he'll bring these people in, and then a Democrat will become president, and they'll give him a path to citizenship. And he would know that. He would know that would happen under a Democrat administration. So why bring the people in if he knows that's going to happen?
You're making really stupid fucking points. Thank you guys for the follow.
Why is that a stupid point?
Like, I don't know what fucking sense you thought that made.
Well, it obviously does make sense.
Donald Trump is about his
right now, and you say you want to bring in
and
a bunch of people on H-1B visas,
migrants a leg up for your businesses, for your corporations, for your friends, doesn't negate the fact that he doesn't show them the same respect that he would other people, white people, people in his class.
Well, I don't think he shows respect to anyone that isn't Jewish, to be honest with you. I think Trump is an extreme Zionist who only serves the interest of Zionist Jews. I don't think he particularly cares about white people. I mean, there are white people dying of fentanyl overdose.
What the fuck are you talking about?
What are you talking
about? Well, I wouldn't say he shows respect to his wife, but so many of his appointees that don't have any type of Jewish or Israeli affiliation that he shows respect to. That's such a weird fucking point to make. If you want to say he leans Zionist and he supports Zionism, you would be correct. But there is no prioritization.
Do you literally think that Trump gives a shit about his white supporters in Middle America? He doesn't give a shit. These people are dying of fentanyl overdose every day.
Doesn't give a shit about.
He's done nothing about that problem. He doesn't give a shit about
ideology. And
he doesn't care about working class white people at all. So the idea that
I'm sorry, how does
cares
that make him
about these people that he's bringing in from India? He doesn't care about white people either.
How does that make him less nationalist?
It does, because he doesn't care. He's not an ethnic nationalist. He doesn't give a shit about
does things for the betterment of
his own race. He doesn't give a shit about. He doesn't give a shit about
doubling down on their stronghold and power in the country that they reside in. What a weird argument. You think Hitler gave a shit about his people? I guess.
Well, Trump doesn't give a shit about
his people.
He doesn't even give a shit about his own.
He killed the people who were against him,
let alone his own race,
regardless of what their identity was.
He doesn't give a shit about his own supporters, let alone his own race. Like, he's not out there.
He doesn't give a shit about his own race.
Issues.
The guy who talks about reverse discrimination
only about himself.
And anti-white propaganda and DEI giving all these other groups a leg up over white people, supporting the likes of, initially, Nick Fuentes, Tucker Carlson, Charlie Kirk, all the way to his fucking grave. He doesn't care about his own race.
He doesn't.
Can someone send this to me, please?
He doesn't care about anything but himself.
You guys know who I'm talking about, because I
mean,
I
do
guess
you
I remember
honestly think
Already
he's
did,
sitting there
already
every
did.
day thinking about, his working class white supporters in Middle America? I doubt it.
Again,
he doesn't give a shit.
You can
about
talk about the working class people. Again, that's a classist issue. He doesn't give a fuck about people not so much in his class. But it's still overall, he has an image to uphold and a mission to support, which is for white people.
He cares more about Israel than he does about America. His entire administration has been the policy has been basically curated to support Israel, not America.
It's a really stupid point that you're making. Just because he sucks off Israel doesn't negate the fact that he is still very much America first.
It does negate the fact that he doesn't care about
America first. Is actual definition, which is racist, and its associations with the Triple K. Do you know that Fred Trump, his father, was busted at a Triple K rally? Donald Trump's family's bloodline has direct ties to the
maybe
Triple
they
K.
were. I don't know.
David Duke, former Triple K, you know who, literally co-signed him, literally endorsed him in the last few elections.
Well, that again is not a great point, because you had a guy, Richard Spencer, who endorsed Kamala Harris.
And why did he endorse Kamala Harris?
I don't know if you know who he is. He's a white supremacist.
Why did he endorse Kamala Harris?
He endorsed her. So, I mean,
why did he endorse Kamala
David
Harris?
Duke endorsed Trump.
I know why David Duke endorsed Kamala Harris, which solidifies my point. Why did Richard Spencer support Kamala Harris? I love how a lot of you guys bring that up. You don't know what his words were. Why did he endorse him?
Well, he didn't like Trump. He didn't like Trump. And
what else did he say?
His position was essentially an accelerationist position, where he thought that
it was not an accelerationist position in any way, shape, or form. No. He never said, I'm going to vote for Democrats because Democrats are going to tear down the country more and Trump's not doing what I want. That's not the case. Hell, you can't even say that was Nick Fuentes' position. Nick Fuentes said he voted for Democrats, or he advocated for people voting for Democrats solely to piss Trump off because he was that dissatisfied with Trump. Yeah. It's not an accelerationist position.
So again, that's you could, again, like I said, making the association that David Duke supported Trump, and a guy like
Did you completely leave out why I mentioned that, and why David Duke's endorsement of Donald Trump is vastly different from Richard Spencer's support? You're looking at the person, my guy. When I mentioned David Duke, obviously he's a piece of shit. It's not solely about the fact that he endorsed it; it's about the reasons behind it. You're conveniently leaving that out of this conversation.
The reason behind David Duke supporting Trump is that he thought that Trump would be an ethnic nationalist. Trump turned out not to be an ethnic nationalist at all. He was a civic nationalist, and then they abandoned their support.
And stands on his support for said nationalism, for said supremacy. That's why you see him on the likes of the fucking, what you call those two twin boys? Hodge twins. Two black conservatives, he's up there. They're giving him the N-word pass and everything else because of how much they support Trump. They use their tokens as well. He's still very much a white supremacist and a white nationalist, but he was on a podcast with two black guys because they support Trump and their ideology. Does that make him less Triple K?
No, I don't support David Duke.
I didn't say you did. That wasn't my question.
KKK or David Duke.
That wasn't my question.
Guys.
Does David Duke showing up on a podcast with two black people mean that he's not a white supremacist?
Well, talking to a black person, you can still be a racist and talk to a black person.
Oh.
Nobody would say that's not the case. Like that, obviously nobody says that, oh, okay, somebody's not a racist. Or
so you can still use people of different races and backgrounds to push your agenda, and that wouldn't negate what you are, such as being a white nationalist.
It kind of would. If you're wanting to bring
no, it kind of would, because then
white,
it would for David
Duke.
Position. You're not being consistent now. Literally shitting on yourself.
It's a completely different thing to say somebody talking to a black person and then somebody supporting policies that actually lead to demographic change in America.
The black people that he was on a podcast with support the policies that lead to the demographic fucking change of this nation.
Yeah, sure. And I don't think an actual fascist would support that. An actual fascist would not support the demographic change of America.
You don't understand.
Trump doesn't give a shit about it. Trump doesn't give a shit about the
demographic change, making it more white, bringing it back to the early 1900s when the country was 85-90% white, reduced immigration that these two black kids supported, that David Duke went on their podcast to show support for. Reduced immigration.
Okay, that's David
stopping
Duke,
the Somalis, the Afghans.
David Duke is obviously a white supremacist.
I brought up David Duke as an example to
I don't
show
argue that.
why white nationalists and white supremacists support Donald Trump, all the ways that he leans in their direction, and the fact that he's a white nationalist himself, not only just by words, but by his actual policies and actions, his directives, his rhetoric.
His actual policies. I mean, you might be able to make a case in the past, maybe in 2016, that he definitely said things that white nationalists agreed with, but what Trump has become on policy, not a white nationalist at all. This is a guy who's basically a neocon corporate.
So can you tell me
now, but finding anti-white stuff?
Can you tell me how? Trying to repeal or revoke the 14th Amendment through an executive order 14160 isn't supporting white nationalism?
Well, I mean, with that, I mean, I didn't know the specifics of that. But on his immigration policy, it's not white nationalist at all.
It quite literally is.
Well, where has he said, I only want white people coming into the country?
Donald Trump has quite literally demonized other demographics who are not white. Anyone that he shit on has come from predominantly black and brown countries. We can even go as far as religion in regards to Islam, so on and so forth. He put forward a Muslim ban. He hasn't restricted in any way, shape, or form places like the EU. We can take an additional step further and look at what he said about whatchamacallit. Why am I blanking on it right now?
I mean, the Muslim ban was because he's a Zionist. I mean, there's no secret that the Zionists hate the Muslims.
It was predominantly Arab or Muslim-speaking nations, which are predominantly brown.
Of course, because he's a Zionist who hates
When
Muslims.
has he ever talked shit about a country that isn't predominantly brown? When has he ever talked shit about predominantly white country outside of, I guess, the United States when he craps on Democrats?
He basically shat on Europe. He basically shat on Europe over the Iran war.
So, it's funny you brought that up. He shit on Europe because of their immigration problem being out of control, and he often uses them as a token to say, "Look at what happens when Europe mass immigrates people. Look at the problems that they're having over there." He talks about Europe specifically in the fact that they did not support his actions in with Ukraine and how he supported Russia. That's why he shat on EU, not because of anything else. Mia, I had to quickly change my settings for Ari's live yesterday. So can you quickly confirm what the input and output is supposed to be on Mac settings? Because I have my input as
he shit on Europe, he shat on Australia, he shat on basically
the
all of these allied nations. So he shits on whoever he thinks doesn't support his agenda.
Didn't you take screenshots?
I did, didn't I? Shit, I forgot about that. I literally took them for this reason.
Bro, whole time I thought that you had like used the screenshots, but like it didn't work after that.
No,
okay, hi Mia.
Hi, but I will say, when you like at the bottom of TikTok Live Studio, you need to mute the.
The mic is muted. The other thing is not. So that's.
Switch.
I didn't touch that.
Switch that. No, switch that.
This is how we had it yesterday or the day before. This is literally what we did. We muted the mic and then the other audio was on to hear everything.
Oh, I had to switch mine because
it's the output and
I had a
input.
problem.
That's the only thing I changed for Ari's thing because the sound was
okay. Primary mic should be your mic, and your audio should be your aggregate.
Yeah, monitor. That's what I have as the output. And I'm talking about the computer settings. And the input is HyperQuadcast 2, which is my mic. So I don't know what happened. Jesus, fuck. Literally just got this sorted. So AudioCast, yeah, input 1, HyperQuadcast, input 2, Black Hole 16 channel, main output, Black Hole 16 channel.
What is your Google Voice on?
Google Voice, mic, HyperQuadcast, speakers, monitor, the aggregate device.
Your channel 2 should be your mic.
Channel 2?
Sorry, 2 channel, the Black Hole 2 channel.
Wait, what? Oh, are we talking about Google Voice
The
settings?
Black Hole 2 channel. Mm-hmm.
The Black Hole 2 channel should be my microphone. Or
Mm-hmm.
No, the microphone should be the Black Hole 2 channel.
Mm-hmm.
What? Well, that wouldn't change the other sounds because they were able to hear TikTok sound stuff. Oh, hold on. Caller, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Erica, can you
Caller,
say something?
can you hear me?
Oh, did you just hear the other person?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay. I didn't change that. That's weird.
Sometimes it switches automatically.
Sometimes it does? Okay. Well, let me get a picture of that too then. So I think that's the one photo I did not have. Okay, that's fixed, I think. Thank you, Mia. Appreciate you.
You're welcome. Okay, bye.
You stay right there.
Okay.
Never mind.
I mean it when I said it, chat. Show Mia all the love.
I don't know how you can sit up here and try to negate the significance of Donald Trump's actions and very much how it does support white nationalism by summarizing as a neocon, as if that's any better or doesn't have its direct correlations.
Well, neoconservatism is a lot different. I mean, even if you look at the discourse amongst people on the right, neocons and actual fascists have significant disagreement. I would even say paleoconservatives and neoconservatives have significant disagreement, but there's even more disagreement if you go onto the very far right, like the fascists and the neocons. Very different.
They would still very much share some of those tenets. And if you can
there
follow up with the
there
rest,
is some overlap.
yes,
but
there absolutely is overlap.
It's not the same.
Again, let's go over this because it just seemed like we're going so far off what fascism actually is. Powerful and continuing nationalism. Donald Trump has supported that literally from the jump. We're doing too much for other countries. He's been in the rooms and likes and the support of people who very much are outward white nationalists. Obviously, he hasn't directly said these things. Disdain for the recognition of human rights. Donald Trump has quite literally made attempts to repeal back simple, basic pieces of legislation that we had passed since the 60s and otherwise. He's referenced the best parts of America being the early 1900s. Obviously compliments the likes of Reagan and times before women could even vote and black people were not considered 3/5 of a person. Identification of enemies / scapegoats as a unifying cause. The radical left, the enemy within. The Democrats are this, the Democrats are that. Even going as far as to barely criticizing his own Supreme Court picks because ultimately they are on his side outside of, I guess, the recent birthright citizenship and IEEPA rule from the Supreme Court. Supremacy of the military. Donald Trump has not only advocated for them to increase the budget after bringing it up to about $1 trillion to $1.5 trillion. He's had Pete Hegseth doing all the damage he's done over there, talking about the warrior ethos, lethal, 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 so on and so forth. Rampant sexism. I don't even need to get into that one. Controlled mass media. Donald Trump has clearly shown support and criticism for the media when they do not show him in his favor, not only with his lawsuits, but executive orders that he's passed, ways that he's tried to restrict anyone such as AP News, NPR, pulling PBS funding, then his directions under, what's his name, Erica? The FCC chairman. To go
Brandon Carr.
Brandon Carr, thank you. To go after the likes of Jimmy Kimmel. We can go for religion and government are intertwined. Donald Trump quite literally said religion and God are the biggest things missing from this country. He opened up a White House faith department when he got in there. He clearly talks about his alleged faith and leaning and supporting towards faith-based institutions despite there's supposed to be a separation. Obsession with national security. This goes into everything he talks about with immigration, with Iran, all these scapegoats that America's under threat by these demographics and then providing no evidence for it. Corporate power is protected. He's a literal fucking billionaire who bragged about supporting his rich white friends with manipulation of the market. Labor power
And
is...
he also...
Yes.
I'm sorry, Hector, because you was on the road, but he also has the U.S. owning a share of Intel. So the country owns shares in Intel.
That is correct.
That part.
Exactly. Thank you. Labor power is suppressed. Donald Trump and Elon Musk not only worked alongside Elon Musk to bust unions, but he has a record of not supporting them, saying that they're bad. Disdain for intellectuals. And, we can even talk about not raising the minimum wage, all these different things. All these fucking different things. Disdain for intellectuals and the arts. This one is super fascinating. Donald Trump cutting funding to several institutions such as the Smithsonian somewhat, putting out memos, directing them to review their African, Asian, and what was the other one? I believe it was Arab studies. When he cut funding to Columbia and other institutions. Obsession with crime and punishment. The weak left. They want criminals on your streets, cashless bail. We need to prosecute them. We just had Pete Hegseth under the Department of War bring back the, the shooting,
firing squad.
Firing squads, exactly. And always people tend to forget about his SS tattoos on his body. No one seemed to give a shit about that. Rampant cronyism and corruption.
That goes without saying.
Literally. And
that man made $3 billion last year.
Exactly. And fraudulent elections. I don't think I need to tell you, caller, that for the last 6 years, or going on 7, he's ran off of the 2020 festival being stolen from him. And the basis for the SAVE Act, the basis for, in some point, trying to restrict undocumented migrants, the basis for his support for gerrymandering in states specifically such as Texas has been off of protecting elections, securing our elections. He said, if the Democrats didn't cheat, I wouldn't have lost. And then none of his peers have even been able to give substantial fraud that supports that claim.
No, I mean, sure. A lot of those things I wouldn't disagree with you on. However, I think you could also make the case in some ways the Democrats have been the same. I mean, when you talk about the election being stolen,
we're not talking about Democrats.
Trump, without evidence, mind you, that Trump was a puppet of Vladimir Putin. There was no evidence of that. I think there's bigger evidence to say
that
he's a puppet of Benjamin Netanyahu, but not Vladimir Putin.
And the allegations of Trump being involved with Russia and directly
where was the evidence that he was involved with Russia?
It was an allegation that was made. There was an investigation that took place and found...
It was an allegation that was made that led to Democrats wanting to impeach him and remove him from office. They wanted to say... And again, like I said, I don't like Trump. I don't
because of his ties with Russia, because of his cabinet's ties with Russia, those of which we have actual prosecutions for.
None.
Just because they couldn't tie Trump with it, which was admitted in the report, doesn't mean that the original basis of the entire thing wasn't true, which was that Russia was interfering with our elections. This has been confirmed in 2016, 2020, and 2024. They've been involved in every single one. They show favor to Trump.
If you want to talk
no
about
one's here supporting that. I'm aware of that. I'm aware of Donald Trump quite literally being a part of that problem specifically. I'm aware of Democrats' role in said issue. We're not talking about them. We're talking about Trump.
They found a handful of Facebook ads that were run from like Russian accounts. That is hardly interference.
It was a lot more than that. To the point where Donald Trump quite literally obstructed investigations into several of the people in his cabinet, one of them being his campaign fucking manager, who did 3 years.
It wasn't for Russian interference.
What was it for?
He wasn't colluding with Russia. Who in the Russian government met with members of the Trump administration to coordinate stealing the election from Hillary Clinton?
It was conversations and meetings that they didn't even report and swore under oath did not happen. This has been well
If
recorded
Trump had
in that
ties
report.
to Russia, I mean, he
They
put,
did not tie Trump
again,
directly
if Trump
to
had
it.
ties to
They
Russia,
tied some of his
if
affiliates.
he had
Rudy
ties to
Giuliani.
Russia and the Russians helped, if the Russians had helped Trump get elected, why would Trump have put more sanctions on Russia than any of his predecessors? He put more sanctions on Russia than anybody. He also gave javelin missiles and a whole bunch of other military equipment to Ukraine.
And then he lifted them.
This was before.
I'm unaware of him putting the most sanctions
2018.
on. I'll double check that in a second. But he would have lifted them this year.
He did put sanctions on Russia.
And they would
that was in
lifted.
his first term. You can look that up. He did do that. So again, if the Russians, if he had some sort of tie with Russia and he was doing that to the Russians, arming Ukraine, putting sanctions on Russia, the Russians would have blown the whistle.
Arming Ukraine.
It basically gone to the U.S. media and told them that Trump was a puppet of Russia.
Donald Trump quite literally tried to withhold. We tried to withhold support from them, and that was the one of the reasons that they tried to impeach him.
I think the whole Russia thing was massively overblown. I think there's far more evidence to say that Trump is a puppet of Benjamin Netanyahu.
Yeah, no one's talking about that. You brought up the Democrats' allegations with him in Russia.
And those allegations were false.
Members of people on his team,
with
his
Russia.
campaign
the
manager,
allegations were Russian
we found
collusion,
that
is what
proof.
They said, that he was colluding with Russia.
Yes, it was an allegation made after Russia. The overarching argument was Russia interfering with our elections and Donald Trump being one of their puppets. They could not prove
They
that
said
one.
Russian
They proved
it wasn't Russian
everything
interference.
else.
It was Russian collusion, is what they said. That was the exact term that the Democrats
it's
used.
literally both.
They said that
It's
Trump had colluded
literally
with
both.
Russia.
Yes, Erica, he can hear you now.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Here, in regards to the most sanctions, because that's what you did qualified and quantified with that. Like you qualified it with most. It was Biden. Biden placed upwards like
Biden was, but what
1,800
I
sanctions.
said, sorry, can
but
I just
Donald
interject?
Trump,
What I said, his predecessors.
You want to clarify?
I said Trump's predecessors. Sorry, I just want to clarify. I said that it was Trump's predecessors. So when
Who's the
I was talking
president
about
right
Trump,
now?
he put those sanctions. He put those sanctions on in the first term. So when I said predecessors, I was talking
But
about
even
President
still,
from Obama back.
you'd be
You'd
be wrong still.
Biden did put more sanctions. Sorry.
Hey,
Biden
do you
did put more
breathe?
sanctions on Russia than Trump.
You don't have
but
to
I was
repeat
talking
that
about
because I
Trump
already
and his-
know that. You're saying Trump and his
Yeah.
predecessors, and I'm telling you that you're still wrong, though. You're still wrong. Obama put more sanctions
I'm saying
on them.
Biden did. Yes,
I said
Biden did 'cause
Obama.
of the
If
war
you
in
if you stop talking, I said Obama.
I'm trying to clarify my. I'm trying to clarify my position because you keep cutting me off, and you're saying that
I
I'm
keep
wrong.
cutting
I don't
you off.
doubt
Are you
that Biden.
serious? You seriously said that I
don't
keep
doubt
cutting
that
you
Biden
off?
put-
When you keep cutting me off, don't do that. Don't do that. That is not okay.
I'm trying to clarify my position. So I don't
Literally,
doubt
when a
that
person
Biden
says,
put
"Sorry, may I
more
interject?"
sanctions-
they're cutting you off.
Okay, that's fine. But I just need to clarify.
W's
one
in the
that's what
chat
you
to
said.
Basically, I don't
Queen
disagree
Sniper
with you
for
that
the
Biden put more
$20
sanctions on Russia
PayPal
than
because
Trump.
you're amazing.
That was
Thank you so
obviously
much,
due to the
Queen.
war in Ukraine.
Big W's in the chat to Queen.
But my point
Big
was
W's in the
the
chat
sanctions
to
that
Queen.
Trump had put on Russia in his first
Guys, don't worry
term
about this pool.
were
Someone
more
has a
than
pocket
any of the other sanctions.
But the best
from
way to
his
support the platform is going to be the
predecessors,
links in
meaning
the bio.
Obama back. That was basically what I was saying.
And guess what? Wait, I'm sorry. Are you changing it to Obama? Now Obama isn't included in it?
He's been moving off the 14
No,
tenets
no.
of fascism.
What
because he
you're
couldn't
misunderstanding
fucking
my
prove
point
it.
here. What I'm
Okay, then.
saying
So Obama
is
put
Trump
more
put
sanctions
sanctions on
Russia than
in his first.
yeah. In his first term, no,
What
he
I'm saying
didn't.
is-
Obama did. Is what I'm telling you. Obama put 307 because of
Yeah.
Ukraine and 200 and something because of Crimea. But anywho, Trump's tariffs, not tariffs, Trump's sanctions, anyways, it would kind of be moot because Donald Trump has removed those sanctions because he placed it on certain oil companies. So his were more strategic.
Yeah.
And with his strategic sanctions, he actually removed those due to the war in
He did, 'cause he-
Iran. Because
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, no, I agree. He did remove the sanctions on Russia because he's screwing up the war in Iran. and it's causing a massive spike in oil prices. That's why he's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Erica's go time.
Again, it's not because he's a puppet of Russia.
Okay, I'm finished.
He's fucking up the war that he started.
You couldn't be more wrong. You don't know things.
Well, would you say that Trump is a puppet of Russia? I mean, I think that's a silly position.
He's clearly a supporter. You can argue the semantics of puppet. He's clearly a supporter. He's done everything in his power to support Russia over Ukraine, the aggressor, since he's taken the Oval Office. Even before the campaign, he ran off of saying things like, me and Vladimir Putin have a great relationship. We're like the best of friends. He's not so much of a bad guy.
Sure,
I think we should be allies. He literally welcomed in Russian oligarchs into the United States when he was asked specifically about his, what was it, bare minimum 5 million or 5 billion gold cards or whatever the fuck. He has no issues with Russia whatsoever. He hasn't spoke on how their interference in our elections or any collusion of other members.
He's still arming Ukraine. He's still arming Ukraine. So he ran on the promise of ending the war in Ukraine.
And he did. He doesn't care about ending the war. All right.
I'm getting a lot of background noise.
Then what?
What?
I hear you. Doing this?
I just like to explain what that is.
Music? What music do you hear? Eric, are you hearing music?
Not at all. No.
Not gonna lie, I actually didn't want them to hear the music. I want to change that, but whatever.
I love that song.
W's in the chat to Shauna because Shauna had a pocket drop. Shauna had a pocket drop, and Shauna said enough is enough tonight. I just don't know what an argument. I don't support Trump, but I'm up here to tell you that Democrats are wrong in calling him fascist, despite him meeting all 14 tenets of fascism, and he's more so a neocon, as if being a neocon doesn't also correlate with fascism in terms of its authoritarian leanings. And because he made a post on Truth Social that he deleted, because he hasn't outright said, I only want white people in the country, and utilizes other demographics for labor to enrich his businesses and his friends, there's no possible way you can call him a fascist. And then we quickly went from that to fucking collusion and all this other shit. What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? Ay. W's in the chat to Shauna. W's in the chat to Shauna. Guys, best way to support the platform is... Wait, you know what? Fuck y'all. I've been live for 2.5 hours and we're not even at 100,000 likes. That's fucking
wicked.
Insane. That is actually fucking insane. I see YouTube is doing me dirty too, but that's actually fucking insane.
Let's get the likes up.
Do you think we're a thriving failed state? W's in the chat to Bloody Quill for the 2. Do you think we're a thriving failed state? I don't know how to quite answer that. I'm going to attempt to. If we're thriving in the sense of capital and we're failing in the sense of civil rights and other things, then yes, I would consider us a quote unquote thriving
I would agree.
state. If that's what you meant, then yes, we are a thriving failed state. We're thriving in capitalism because we're capitalist as fuck. We are failing in other things. Sure. I don't know what you mean by that question. You're more than welcome to elaborate in the comments.
But also, like, fuck capitalism. However, we do live in a capitalistic society. All right. So we must, unfortunately, participate unless someone knows how to tell me how to live off the grid. Send me that information now. All right.
For free.
And also maintain, for free.
Living
and
off the grid costs money.
A good skincare routine. All right. But with that being said, all right, do all of the good things, guys. We should be tapping away. All right, let's get these likes up to like 150,000 likes within the next 10 minutes. I know y'all can do it. All right, I'll be over here on the backup tapping. So tapping away. Also, let's go ahead and knock out Hector's gift goal. What are these, Hector? Are these the slow motions? My fingers don't work like they used to before.
I don't know what they're called. I just call them the green faces. Overreacts.
Oh, the
is what they're called.
overreacts. Yes, the
Yeah.
overreact. So let's knock those out, the green faces. All right, almost there. Thank you so much, Jane, for real. And continue to share and repost the live and just do all of the
God
good
bless
things. And
you.
check out the links in Hector's bio.
Thank you, Jane.
You
What's
can
up,
take a
Jane?
look at Hector with 2 R's shops. So HectorShop.com to get you some cool Kamala with Never merch like Hector is wearing right now. I have that exact same hat. And when I say it's awesome, you should also get a red one because the red one definitely gets a lot of attention and conversation. All right, so do that.
It's crazy
And
that I don't
also
have a
check
red
out,
one.
you should get a red one,
You
bro.
should.
And also check out the links in the bio for the PayPal to Venmo. All right, and if you're over on the tube, you can send a super chat, jewels, or a gift. And just remember, guys, everything is appreciated and most definitely accepted. Do all the good things, all right? Or else I will haunt your dreams.
Trump supporters, thank you so much, Erica. Trump supporters, request up in the box. You are the demographic of people I'd like to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, you can call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. I feel like what I should have said. Yes, I thanked you earlier, Queen. You may have missed it. I thanked you earlier. I don't give a fuck what you want to consider Donald Trump, what label you want to put on him, but I'm going to call him what he accurately is, and I'm going to say it doesn't fucking matter. He's a piece of shit. He's destroying this country. He's peeling it back in every way, shape, or form. And if you stand for America, allegedly, if you stand for the protection of all peoples, regardless of race, gender, creed, then fuck Donald Trump. That's how that works. That's how that works. Thriving doesn't necessarily mean successful in this sense if we're acknowledging the system as corrupt and disinterested in us. That's why I said what I said. That's quite literally why I said what I said. We're thriving in capitalism. We are the most capitalistic, rich country in the world. No one does capitalism better than us. I'm not using that as a compliment, as an actual good thing. I'm saying by the metrics of capitalism, we're doing great. And then literally everything else, the shit that fucking matters, we're not. That's why I answered the question that way. But yeah, you can say because of that one thing, then it's not actually thriving, but that's extremely subjective. I'm saying solely based off the system of capitalism, it's thriving very well, which is a failure, to be clear. But yes. Thank you guys for knocking out the overreacts. I appreciate you. I'm going to go ahead and reset it to these little tiny dinies. And I'll make the call once again. First and foremost, if you're not following me, hit that follow button in the top left corner. Hit that follow button in the top left corner. We are live every Saturday after 3 p.m. CST and randomly throughout the week. Honestly, don't worry about the shares. We probably got like 30 minutes left, honestly, and I'm gonna go watch something. I'm gonna go eat my dinner. I'm hungry, actually. Y'all, you want to hear how much I paid for 5 peaches today? Yes, Noodle. They have been. We've literally only talked to 2 people. One couldn't even shut up long enough, so I dropped him. So we've only talked to 2 people in the entire 2.5 hours that we've been on. Very much cowards, and they've been chirping. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I want you guys to take a wild guess, and I'm so mad about this. Erica and Shauna will tell you. I want you guys to take a wild guess as to how much I spent on 5 peaches today. Take a guess, guys. How much do you think I spent on 5 peaches today? I want to remind everyone that I'm in Texas, okay? I'm in Texas. So no one use the blue state excuse. I'm in Texas. How much do you guys think I paid for 5 peaches? Okay, some of these prices are wild. I am not even taking you serious, Shauna. $23.76. I wouldn't have bought the peaches. Guys, it was expensive. But if some of these $15, I wouldn't have bought them. $30, wouldn't have bought them. $37.56? Are we crazy? $6.75? Okay, getting close. $8.57, better. $8.99, better. $6,000?
God bless you.
What are we doing, Second Society? $12.11. Cali is the closest. Or technically Noodle now. I paid $10 and change for 5 peaches. $2 a fucking peach, bro. $2 a peach. Not a massive mango. None of that. $2 a peach. $2 a peach. I have 2 grocery stores nearby me, one being Walmart, which I hate, but I'll go there for select things and I'll follow up with the store across the street. Walmart never has peaches. In fact, I thought they were like out of season. And then They were actually available at this other store, which is known to be a little bit pricier, but still, $2 a fucking peach? B-Man peaches. You know what the crazy part is, Shauna? One of the peaches were bad. When I only felt a good side and I put it in the bag, and then when I got home, I cut it open, it was bad. My mother used to be the type of person. She can buy an avocado. The avocado was bad. She would put it to the side, take it back the next day, get her money. I didn't have the energy to run back. I'm not going to lie. I didn't have the energy to run back. Did James come up with the damn peach? But Trump said grocery prices would be down day one. Yeah, that's what I thought. I've quite literally been spending more on everything. I'll never forget. And this is how closely I was watching prices on select items. There's, I think it's called Marie's. It's a dressing that you get in the produce aisle of your local grocery stores. And it's a raspberry vinaigrette that I get. Donald Trump took the Oval Office when it was $3.98. And then a couple weeks, it went up 20 cents, $4.18. Because of the area that I'm in right now, I don't actually have our Texas store, H-E-B, around me. So I haven't seen them in a bit. But pretty sure it's went up even more since then. I know what you're thinking. 20 cents, Hector? The point is, Donald Trump said he would lower my grocery prices. And then it seems like his tariffs already did some carrying. And now we're here. Yes, $2 a peach is fucking ludicrous. Absolutely. Big mangoes are $2.
Man, I eat every last one of them peaches and save the pits and take them back to the grocery store and say, these peaches were they were disgusting. Absolutely gross. I want money back.
Time to make
That's
friends
expensive.
with the produce guy. Mm-hmm.
I know, right?
The problem is, y'all, I have to try and eat healthy. My gut is sensitive, and fruits really help with it, especially for breakfast. And then I'm having like a protein pasta for dinner, which is not so big on the fiber. Even though I got the one that's made out of chickpeas, I got a chickpea pasta, but yeah, it's still not enough. Still not enough. I spent $5 on a small container of blueberries today. Yeah, I spent $11. I had to get 2 containers. I make this big tub of fruit salad, and that lasts me for the week. And to get an adequate amount of blueberries, it cost me $11. So there's that. Got the low carb tortillas. They're loaded with fiber. How do I use tortillas in my pasta? I mean, it sounds like a good idea, but I was talking about pasta. I don't really eat a lot of things with tortillas in it unless I'm out. I don't buy the tortillas. I don't know why. I ought to make some tacos. Honestly, just in general, yeah. I figured. We aren't all blessed to have a Dollar General every corner. Things went up at Dollar General too. I work at Aldi, and even there, the bloobs. Is that code for blueberries? I've never heard that terminology before. I'm going to assume that's code for blueberries. The bloobs are 6. Yes.
What are bloobs?
I'm assuming blueberries. Or blue boobs. I don't fucking know anymore. I really don't. Any cases, I'm a chef in a kitchen, and I saw our prep order bill. I can only imagine what that looks like, to be honest with you. I can only imagine what it looked like. This is one of the first
like groceries are so. Oh, sorry, I think.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say groceries are so expensive that like I was like avoiding like doing the grocery delivery for like a week. I ain't gonna hold you. They're just so expensive. It sucks.
I do my best not to have anything delivered at all.
I know.
I don't trust people to do my grocery shopping.
Don't touch my produce. I'll buy my own produce. I go to specific stores for produce and for meats. But like anything that you can get off of a shelf, I just go to the big box store. Why Jordan say, I love eating mango because it melts in your mouth? That was very suggestive.
I mean, you can get some juicy ones, I guess. Some juicy mangoes are like that. Granny Smith apples for the win. My favorite is actually Pink Lady apples.
Those are good. I like Gala apples.
You know, I've said Gala most of my life.
I'm sorry for laughing. It's Gala.
I know. I know.
It's just like how you say epitome.
Epitome. I just said it earlier. Hyperbole.
Hyperbole. It's okay. Once you know better, you do what, friend?
You do better. You do's better. Them apples was fancy,
Crazy
Hector.
work.
Listen, I'm a bougie nigga. I don't know what else to tell y'all. I'm a fancy nigga. I don't do much. Okay, I don't do much. I'm a boring person. I go live. I do my things. I go out once every 6 months. I take pride in the things that I eat and my little treats. You guys know me. My boba obsession. Bobas bring me happiness. Don't call me on a Friday night talking about you want to go out to the club and stuff. I'm gonna be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Now you call me on a Thursday evening and you say, let's go to this boba shop. You got me. That's me. That's me. And if you'd like to support the Boba Fund, links are in the bio. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Hector Talks with 2 R's on Cash App and Venmo. And PayPal, Hector Pal with 2 O's and 2 R's. If you're over on the tube side, you may send a super chat or a super sticker. Speaking of super chats, W's in the chat to Brian for the $2. Only surfers in this house. I don't know what that means.
I don't either, but if we're sharing palpable, yes. I understand. I get it. I'll share one of mine and then I'm just gonna be quiet. I used to say Kiona.
Fiona? Oh, for quinoa?
Yes.
So did I.
One day I was talking to a coworker and I was like, yeah, I made my lunch because I was eating like super healthy. I used to have a personal trainer and everything, right? And so like I was eating super healthy and I said, yeah, I brought Kiona and chicken. And they were like, you bought what? And I was like, Kiona. He said, quinoa. I said, what? What? Quinoa. I said, quinoa? Ain't no damn quinoa. And yeah, it was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. Kiona.
I said the entire Q. I say quinoa. Quinoa.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. That's how it's spelled. That's how it's spelled. Honey Crisp or Cosmic Crisp? Yeah, that's true. Brian, I'm watching the chat. You could put down in the comments what the fuck that means. I don't know what only surfers in this house means. Y'all know what that means? Because I don't. Acai? Is that how you say that? I still butcher that word.
Oh, that one messes me up all the time.
I think it's acai.
Acai bowl. Is it acai?
It's acai, I think. Hold on.
Acai.
Hold on. Izzy's.
Was that Izzy?
Yes, it was. Let me see.
Achi.
Oh, no.
Achi?
No. That's literally ACI. Oh, I missed an A. Whoopsies. Here we go.
Acai.
Acai. Yeah. Acai. Mm-hmm.
I definitely was pronouncing that wrong. Actually, I'm gonna hold you. I didn't pronounce that wrong. I just avoided saying it.
I don't blame you. Oh shit! I have coins on this account. Where's the swan? Here we go. Acai.
God bless you.
The more you know, if you didn't know before. Alrighty. I'm gonna do a final call.
Are you ending or are you gonna restart?
Going up on the 3-hour mark. I don't know what a restart would do at this point. This app hates me.
Oh.
It's already fucking midnight.
It is late. Bree gets it.
Point to the picture. I'll have that. Vitamin water came out and I said I drank the Acai B vitamin water like it meant anything. Acai B is interesting. That one's interesting. All right, we'll do this final call. Trump supporters. Those of you who decided to borrow your balls out of Donald Trump's purse, those of you who stand for something. This live is for you. If you are a Trump supporter who does not regret your vote, you may request up in the box or call in the number on screen, 737-295-5321, and tell me why. And I can assure you I'll give you several reasons as to why you should. And if you are a Trump supporter who does regret their vote, you're a Trump supporter who is growing more and more dissatisfied with this administration, you don't know where to go, and you want to express your frustrations with it, we can probably find some common ground and agreements. You may call the number on screen or request up in the box as well. And I will meet you with minimal judgment. I cannot speak on behalf of the chat or Erica, but I will meet you with minimal judgment. W's in the chat to Brianna for the $20 Venmo for the Boba Fund. Me and my daughter love you, Hector. She's 12 and we use your live as part of our homeschooling. Oh my God. I don't know how to feel about that. Oh no. I don't know how to feel about that. Ooh. Ooh. First off, one thing about me, I am one of those people that's like, I do think people like censor too much from kids, especially at the age of like 12 and up. Like they're preteens, there's shit that they need to know. The second you get into public school, as far as I'm concerned, you kind of have to corrupt your kid. There's conversations you have to have with them about what they can be exposed to, teachers to ensure that they're not opening them up to abuse and stuff like that. So that's just the world we live in today. But I don't know how I feel about 12-year-olds looking at me for I talk a lot of shit, y'all. I talk a lot of shit, and I don't have no filter on my language. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. Yes, late night, soldier. Very late night. Not my typical time. And going live this time showed me as to why I hate doing it. But I appreciate that. Tell your daughter I said thank you, and thank you for your donation. W's to you. W's to you. It is I do take it as a compliment. I absolutely do. But it's also like, I don't know. There's something about like a kid listening to me when I tell somebody that their idiot brain's getting fucked by stupid, and and then I'll be damned if one of y'all's kids, it's gonna happen. You know, one day you guys get a call. You get a call from school. It's like, hey, we're just gonna say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Hectivist, can you come down to the office? We need to talk about your kid. You go down to the office. So,
God bless you.
Your kid was in class today, and he got into an altercation with another child. And your son, your daughter, your other, they told this other kid that their idiot brain is getting fucked by stupid, and they offer them lube, but you'd call it woke. And that's not very nice language for children. We can't have that going on. And they said power to Hector. They said power to Hector to this kid. I don't know who Hector is. Maybe it's an uncle of theirs or a figure that they look up to. But we just can't tolerate this in school. Since Wannerade? Okay. We just can't tolerate this in school. We can't do that. You may wanna address this issue. You may want to address this issue with your child. Also, in the cafeteria, your kid said he wants a boba, and that his parents, tax-paying dollars, should give him bobas in the cafeteria. And I don't know who your kid thinks he is, but he needs to chill the fuck out.
Bro, all right, I'm dropping. Have a great night, everyone. Bye.
Later. If I had a kid and they said that, depending on why, I'd get them fries and nuggets. I mean, I would imagine if you have a kid in school telling somebody some shit like that, they probably were bullshitting. That's what I'd like to think. Hi, Queen.
Hi. I just wanted to say Oklahoma sucks. And if you really want to deep dive into some really fucked up shit, go look at our candidates for governor.
Just trash and trash.
Yes. Drummond is the only one that's decent. And he's a Republican.
Yeah, you're screwed.
Yeah, if you really want to deep dive into I don't know who to vote for. I need help.
Who are your candidates? Like, which one is Democrat?
None.
You don't have any?
No.
Oh, well, I guess you don't really have an option. You can choose, I guess, the less harmful Republican, but I imagine they're probably
Which would
both
be
fucking MAGA.
They are. Every single one of them says, "I support Trump."
You could vote for everyone else then.
I feel like not voting.
I was about to say you can just look at the local races. You can look at down ballot and see what's happening there.
I'm gonna vote straight Democrat. You know, they give you that option where you could just vote straight Democrat or Republican. I'm just gonna vote straight Democrat.
There you go. I lost my mod privileges. I don't know who you are, Infinite Content. I don't remember ever modding you. Who are you? Hector, do you think the fourth industrial revolution stands to replace tens of millions of jobs by 2032? I think AI could. Sure. That's what I think. Any cases, we're gonna
That's
call
all
it
I
here.
wanted. I just wanted to.
Yes, sorry, go ahead.
You got a caller?
No, I said we're gonna call it here. Did I move that one? Yes, I did. Perfect. So who we're going to raid here? I don't think anyone else was live on the YouTube side. At least none of my mutuals. Maybe Matt.
Isaiah was live. I don't know if he still is.
I'm talking about people I can raid. I can't raid him on YouTube. But I appreciate you coming up, Queen. I hope you're doing well over there.
Yeah, you can drop me.
W's Queen, y'all. W's Queen. Who is live? Let's go over to Matt. Perfect. So YouTubers, you guys are gonna raid Matt. Don't worry, the second I press the end button on the stream, it's going to automatically take you there, so you don't have to worry about it. When you guys get over there, make sure that you say Hector Raid. We need outro music. I'm not doing no outro music. Make sure that you say Hector Raid. I appreciate every last one of you. Every last one of you for being here. Thank you for the likes, the shares, the comments, the subscriptions, the super chats, the super stickers. I will see you guys. I won't be over there, actually. Never mind. I'll see you guys tomorrow, or today, technically, for the next stream. And happy May the 1st to those of you who it just entered May. W May, another month of bullshit. I'm not expecting much from it. But big W to you guys, and I will see y'all for the next stream.